Fire for your mind. The Culture Clinician. Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
It's interesting to me that these are the same women shouting from the rooftops when they're our age that they feel invisible, that it's hard, that where are all the good men, that being single is so sad and depressing. So this is the wisdom, young ladies, if you're willing to listen. When you get older, you will be so grateful to not have to do the last third of life by yourself.
You know, Paco, winter is coming. I remember a time where most women had husbands, and Kevin Samuels talks about a time called winter. And you know, winter not only symbolizes the seasons that are about to come, but winter symbolizes a stage in life. When you look at some of your, yes ma'am, go ahead. Yes ma'am, go ahead.
I am in the storm. Okay? I got a part-time job. I'm a tax expert, so I only live during tax season. I'm 60 years old. I don't have retirement. My family is spread across the country.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I don't have a strong black man who I love black men in my life. I'm not mad. I know my time is past.
Wow.
But I am in the winter.
Wow.
I'm in the storm.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there was a time when you had a viable black man, but you forfeited that by sometime bad choices?
1,000% correct.
Oh my God.
I was married.
Right.
I was fine as hell. And I thought that I was black girl magic.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's why I know the death mentality. And I thought that I was.
Go ahead, keep talking. You said you thought you were black girl magic. Keep talking, Paco.
Oh, but life and reality woke me up.
So it sounds.
She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there. Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was. Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph.
Marcel!
Men in relationships that have been cheated on before know that there are precursors to it. It's like that famous Ozark scene where he was like, I don't remember who said it. You had a million chances to say no. You could have said no at the grocery. Could have said no when he texted you. Could have said no when he called you. Could have said no when you met up. When you sucked the dick. You had a million chances to say no. Some of those lines, some of those precursors, people think Ayesha Curry is hidden.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it.
When you hear your girl in the house talking about how she missed the glory days or I missed out on the whole days, that could be nothing. But it also could be
something.
Right. Something. One for me that has been prevalent in life is, oh, you're not looking at me with the same eye you looked at me like before.
Thanks.
Before I knew what that one meant, I just thought I took it at face value. Oh shit, I got changed now. Look at you. That don't mean that.
They don't. That nigga outside looked at me with the new eye.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And boy, did it feel good.
They was sparking.
Boy, did it feel.
You lead a whole water player, but you can't make a think. You dig what I'm saying?
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And then it happened so early in my life. He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. My husband really loves my feet.
Oh, I love that.
And so, like, the light was hitting him just right that day. And so I was like, let me just snap this photo and send him a picture of my feet. So I always say, like, when he says to send nudes, like, that's what he's getting, a picture of my bare feet.
Beautiful. Don't ever think for 1 minute that it ain't some men out there looking at you like, I wish.
Is a reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
Fire for your mind. Culture clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right, guys, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it, guys. It will not be before you guys long. I got things to do. Let me go ahead and bring this thing up. Guys, if y'all can hear me, hit 1. If you good gentlemen can hear me, please hit 1. Hit 1, guys. Hit 1. Ayesha Curry exposed. She's never yours. It's just your turn. The truth is going to be revealed in a few minutes, guys. So do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. We're going to go live in a few seconds. This show is a show for those that are mature. It's for those that are mature, those that are willing to understand what's going on in the broader Americas. And also this shows for those men and women that are hoping for some form of radical change, but understand that this current milieu that we live, radical change appears to be fleeting. So guys, without further ado, get your pens and paper ready. Warning, I give you guys a fair warning. This is a warning, but it's not a warning because it's nothing wrong. It's a warning, guys, because some people can't handle the truth. Greetings. This is another topic of the Kosher Clinician that might be sensitive to some viewers. If you are sensitive to the topic at hand or the title provided in the show, please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, guys, get your pens and paper ready, guys. Do me a favor, if you like what I'm doing, hit the like button. Donate to the channel and hit the like button. to you live once again from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State, where the topography is serene, pristine, and verdant green, where every day is Father's Day, and where manhood is part of hills and valleys, victories and failures. And whereas men, we don't agree on all things or ideologies, but tonight we come together as allies of a common cause, only to dissipate once the crisis is over. Now listen, I'm about to drop some fire for your mind. But before I drop that fire, let's explore why we are doing the Manhood Chronicles. All right, guys, thank you to everyone that's tuned in, guys. We're going to get deep right into it in a minute. And then, guys, this show is just a parodying of the things that we've always talked about as it relates to modern women. Theology said it better than I can say it, because the word of God I consider to be very true. And I understand that many people that listen to my channel may not be Christians, but however, the sentiment between theology and the word of God still rings true. The Bible said that in the last days that people will be ungrateful. It more or less talked about children. Children are ungrateful. Modern women are ungrateful. You can give women your best. You can give your children your best. You can reach out to your kids. You can help your kids, but they never give it back to you in return. And the reason why they do it, guys, is because they are in the flesh. They're operating in the flesh. They lack empathy. They're highly solipsistic. And many times they hide behind religion so that they're not going to be held accountable. Many of these women had made bad choices in their 20s. And they hide behind religion when they get older, or hide behind religion now because they don't want to be held accountable. Being ungrateful is dangerous because the person that gives out of themselves, they more or less try not to keep score, but they start to letting those debts tabulate. And as those debts tabulate, then they start making a cost-benefit analysis. And they begin to say that, you know what, I'm going to stop giving my kindness to people that don't respect me and reciprocate it and show some modicum of grace. And what I've learned, guys, what I'm learning is that the more you learn to love yourself as a man, the more you understand that most modern women are very solipsistic, meaning they're very selfish. And as soon as you realize that at the end of the day, if you don't prioritize your mental wellness and your health, then you're going to be a shell of yourself in the end. Sometimes as men, it's hard for us to be selfish because it's part of our nature to give and to protect. But in the clinical world, I call it a thought-stopping technique. And that thought-stopping technique simply means that every time I get tempted to do something that's not going to benefit me consistently, I'm going to start telling myself no. And so in this show, you look at Ayesha Curry, a woman that's married to one of the greatest basketball players in the world. And more or less, it highlights the sentiment that's seen in, I believe it's 2 Timothy. The scripture said, in the last days, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boastful, proud, disobedient to parents. You see a lot of young people that are disobedient to parents. You know, kids that are pre-adults, but also you got adults that are disobedient to parents. And while adults do have their own sovereignty and power, it still does not minimize their responsibility to honor their parents. But sadly, in this world that we live in now, kids now don't honor their parents. They don't respect their parents. They don't obey their parents. They undermine their parents, and they do what's best for them because they are operating in the spirit of rebellion. And not only that, you also see it also in modern women that call themselves to be wives. Ayesha Curry at one point was deemed to be a godly woman. She talked about the virtues of God in Christ, but it appears that Ayesha Curry has cascaded by the zeitgeist of this current world, which is more or less confusing her. Instead of her standing on business, being grateful for the husband that she got, a multi-billionaire. But see, what it is, guys, the modern woman, by default, many of them, not all, shout out to the great women that are loved standing by their husbands and respecting their husbands. But they do it because they want to be better than their husbands. And so it says that they will be lovers of their own selves, which is narcissistic. They will be covetous. They'll be boastful, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, like Ayesha Curry, Michelle Obama, Remy Ma, and then also, what's the other lady's name? Jada Pickett. This verse lists unthankfulness along with negative characteristics of people in the last days. So we're living in a time now where people are very wicked. They don't do self-introspection. They have a higher appraisal of themselves than what they really are. They invalidate good men. They minimize the virtues of good men. They minimize men that have pledged their lives to love them and die for them. And when I hear these charlatans talking about, men don't want to get married, this is one of the reasons why men are not getting married. Men by nature are very simple, but men also take what's called a cost-benefit analysis to determine whether or not the woman that they're deciding to give them their last name is worth taking the risk. And what's happening now, guys, is happening in epic proportion. Men are beginning to choose themselves. They're beginning to choose their peace. They're beginning to choose their sanity. They're beginning to say, you know what, I'm good. I'm not going to waste my time with a woman that does not value me as a man. I'm not going to waste my time with a woman that's given her body to multiple men. And now all of a sudden she wants a good man because she realized that her greater opportunities are over. And Ayesha Curry is going to be one of those women. Ayesha, in my opinion, plays the role of a victim. You didn't have to marry Steph. If you wanted to go out here and whore around and give your body to multiple men, that was your choice. But this man always tried to capitulate to Ayesha Curry. He always strives to give him his best. But it goes back to the song by James Ingram back in the 80s. He said, I gave my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. And that's what a lot of men are saying now. I give my best, but it's never good enough. You can buy the house on the hill. It's not good enough. You can buy a nice car. It's not good enough. Because narcissism can never be pleased. Because narcissism many times is tied into lust. And so for the sake of preserving your mental wellness, guys, if you cannot find you a quality woman that's going to honor you, love you, respect you, protect you, and a woman that has emotional regulation, you will be better off preserving your mental health, preserving your pocketbook, preserving your peace, affirming your standards, affirming your values, fortifying your boundaries, and just focusing on yourself. Because if you continue to live in yesterday, assuming that the world is going to be like it was in yesterday, then you become a saboteur of your ignorance and you become a fool of the past. Modern women, they are selfish. Children are selfish. They don't care about you. They only care about what they can get from you. They don't honor you. They only honor their feelings and themselves. And the quicker you realize that as men and stop thinking about how the world was when we were kids growing up, that they're going to do what's good for you like you've done for them, the better off you will be. The scripture said, know that God is not mocked. What a man soweth, that what he shall also reap. And so there's a reaping that's going to happen to these modern women that are ran through that want good men. Men are beginning to say, I'm good. Because those women that say they don't need men because they have benefited from the creations of men will eventually see and know and understand why men are beginning to say enough is enough. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Share the stream. We're going to get deep into it. Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland in the house. Shout out to Philip Redding. I'm going to read through some of these comments. Philip Redding said that salute to my brother at the Coach Clinician. That's why I'm not marrying any woman from the States. I don't blame you. Not at all, brother. Don't blame you at all, Brother Philip. Kenny People said, y'all Bama American black women don't deserve good men. Good men stay hiding from women. Shout out to my man Hashim Shabazz. Shout out to my man Jossam. Shout out to my man Gregory Scott. He said, salute Kosher. We are seeing more and more women of high profile just can't keep it a low profile, whether it's Michelle Obama, Jada Pickett, or Mrs. Curry. Yes, indeed, sir. Gregory also said that high kosher, what is it that you always say? What is he leveling up for? Yes, I agree with you 1,000,000%. Now, of course, you should level up for yourself, but should you level up to marry the typical modern woman today? I would say unequivocally no. There is no value in working hard as a man and giving your best. And when you hear women like the famous Dr. Chiaku that says black men are not getting married, then I would say, Dr. Chiaku, this is one of the reasons why men are not getting married, because the juice is not worth the squeeze. There's no value in a man wasting his worth and his hard-earned money on the typical modern woman. Once again, are there some decent single women that are good women that are striving to find great quality men? Yes, there's a small remnant of women that understand the assignment, but many times those women are shamed into silence. They cannot be clarion callers for truth. They like conviction to speak truth to power. They are sometimes cowards because of the groupthink of so many women, and so they just keep it to themselves. But I challenge you, women that are hiding behind the scenes and won't speak up. You are part of the problem. But nonetheless, you're beginning to see a new regime of black men and white men and American men in general by saying that I'm good, I'm not getting married, I don't care about marriage because I'm not getting anything quality, I'm not getting anything wholesome, I'm not paying all the bills for a woman that gave her body to multiple men, I'm not paying all the bills for a woman that got underlying mental health issues. I'm not paying all the bills for a woman that appears to be average and a woman that has the baggage of other men. I refuse to subjugate myself and to indignify myself to that kind of mental distress, all because of some social standards or some social safeguards that's many times outdated. Now, many times conservatives in the church or many conservatives will say men that are in these spaces hate women. That's not true. I talk to men all the time in private practice and also just in conversation. Men unanimously love women. But what men are beginning to say is that I choose me. I choose my peace. I choose my mental well-being. I'm not going to give my sovereignty to any woman. I'm not going to be in my house saying happy wife, happy life. I'm not going to be in my house saying I got a man cave. We live in a world now, if you want to be successful in YouTube, you got to toe the line and you got to tap dance and bojangle. You got to appease the feelings and emotions of many people and women included. And there are some good women that understand what I'm saying and they respect what I'm saying. But sadly, that's not the masses. And so when men begin to speak like men, they're not used to it. We've fallen so far, guys, from normalcy of yesterday that when you speak truth to power now, it becomes a problem. Speaking truth to power now will make you a pariah. And because of that, a lot of guys are saying, you know what, yeah, I'm just good. Because once again, I see it all the time in therapy. Women always want to sell men social market value. They sell the proposition that I have my doctorate, my master's and my bachelor's. I have my own house. I have my own car. I have all these accoutrements. But masculine heteronormative men are not impressed by your degrees, ma'am. If you're not selling us peace, if you're not selling us femininity, if you're not selling us virgins to low body, if you're not selling us no kids by multiple men, if you're not selling us emotional baggage, if you're not selling us financial baggage, you can exit left and just stay in your corner and I'll stay in my corner. And when men begin to speak with truth, power, and conviction, many struggle and many hate it because they don't want you to know how much power that you have. Men, you have more power than you realize. You see it all in the media. Men groups and men commentaries are changing the kaleidoscope of what's going on in America. We see it in politics. We see it in the dating scene. We see it in singles events. They have no power but the power that you give. They may think by default that they are the prize, but they are not the prize. Men by nature are the master prize. She is the special prize. Men and women both are very prize worthy, but she is not the prize by default. The man is the master prize. The woman is his special prize, consistent with theology. Theology says she's bone of my bone and she's also flesh of my flesh. But the modern woman has a condition called, she has cognitive distortions that prevent her from hearing what you're trying to say. And what's going on now, guys, is that Ayesha Curry is being influenced by a bunch of modern, wicked, feminist, liberal women that are trying to get her off her square. Because once again, remember in the past, Ayesha Curry one time personified godly virtues, but now she's being caught up in the current zeitgeist that we live in, and she's being influenced by people that are not beneficial for her in her marriage. Steph Curry, 6'3", come from a good family. He's a billionaire. He got beautiful kids. You know how many women would love to be with a man like Steph Curry? Ayesha Curry, you're not the prize. Steph Curry is. If Steph Curry gets rid of you without getting divorced heavy by the courts, Steph Curry is greater than you. There are many women that would love to be with Steph Curry. And while there are men that would love to be with you as well, the top tier men is not going to take you with 4 kids by Steph Curry unless they're weak men. And some of them, once again, just don't understand it. Shout out to my man Hashim Shabazz for that 5. He said, Coach is dropping jewels. No doubt, guys. Once again, share the stream, guys. Donate to the channel. Shout out to my man. He's the #1 sponsor of this stream. Shout out to my man, St. James Palmer. Shout out to St. James Palmer. Shout out to that brother, St. James Palmer. Good friend of mine, good brother. We always chop it up. Shout out to brother St. James, as he's the #1 sponsor of the stream for that $20 hitter. Shout out to brother St. James on the road, making deliveries and also delivering the goods to the people. Shout out to my dear brother and friend, St. James Palmer, always showing love and support. I call him Mr. Bourgeoisie. Shout out to Mr. Bourgeoisie, as he is the #1 sponsor.
It's the money.
And guys, I'm going to show you guys a clip because this is what fundamentally is going to happen to Ayesha Curry and so many others if they don't change. You know, they have the power now, but the scripture said that charm is vain and beauty is passing away, but who can find a virtuous woman? Let me tell you something, guys, about me. I do what many don't do. The church won't talk about what I'm talking about. Because the church is mostly influenced by a bunch of weak men. You know, men will castigate and denigrate other black men 100%. You know, they'll call other masculine black men out for behavior. They'll look at other men, but you rather hear men that call themselves men of God call out the bad behavior of women or black women. You know why? Because they are simps. They're capital simps, S-I-M-P. They're simps because they understand that it's easier to disrespect another man than it is to call out women, because they don't identify with masculine virtues. They identify with feminine virtues. They might be males in their physicality, but in their hard drive, they think like a bunch of women. And so once again, I have no animus towards good, wholesome, equitable black women. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to indignify myself if I was a single man, and neither should you. I'm not going to cast my pearls to swine, to the typical modern woman. She really brings you nothing but drama, high expectations, high body count, weave, overweight, no peace. Some sadly have STDs. And I'm not trying to be mean, but that's just the reality. And so men are saying, okay, you know, I'm good. If I was a single man, again, based on my pedigree, based on what I work, what I make, based on my hard work and what I've accumulated over the years, you would have to be an exceptional woman to be in my circle. I'm 6'5", 6'6", Ivy League adjacent education, over 700, almost a 780 credit score. And I'm not the finest man in the world, but I think I'm a decent looking man. I think I'm handsome to decent. And even if I wasn't a handsome man, I would never subjugate myself to the crap and the trash that men got to go deal with now. It's hard to find wholesome quality women that have good hearts and good intentions. Once again, I talk to men all the time in private practice. I'm striving to find their voice in the marriage. I'm not getting respect. She coming in not understanding the assignment. And many times, guys, when you're dealing with women now, they've been single for so long. that they have a hard time releasing that power to you as the man, or they've been with so many men, they can't hear your voice because they've heard the voice of so many other men. And so once again, the church is not going to tell the truth, because the church, sadly, many of them are in it for money. You don't find too many churches speaking the truth. The thing about me, guys, is that I don't mind talking about men that are derelicts. I don't mind talking about dusty men, dusty black men, or dusty white men, or men in general, men that don't take care of their kids, men that abandon their kids, men that don't respect their elders, men that abandon their elders, men that lie, men that don't take accountability, men that hide behind religion, men that hide behind the cross, men that talk about the virtues of Jesus Christ, but when you put the camera back on them and put the lens back on them, they cannot take accountability because they are cowards. I talk about those men. Those men are not icons of virtue. They're icons of darkness. They self-delude themselves by thinking just because they proclaim a message behind the pulpit, it makes them an exemplar of Jesus Christ. But it doesn't. They self-delude themselves because theology says that it's more, the scripture said that obedience is better than sacrifice. You can sacrifice your good works trying to do the works of God and Christ on the streets, but it matters nothing if you're not being obedient to the basic mandates and the calls of God. God is order. He's always been order. He's always instituted family before ministry. But you got a lot of men now, and I saw it in church growing up, where they put ministry before family. The children suffer. The kids are not covered. They cause discord everywhere they go, and they never take accountability because they are not true men. They're really weak men. They really are men that are very infantile in their thinking. They're really men that have a very small ego. And they're men that hate lions like me because they know intellectually they cannot see me as a man. I will destroy them. And they struggle because they know what I'm saying is true. And so we live in a time, guys, where people cannot handle the truth. The scripture said in the last days, they will not love the truth. And women like Ayesha Curry, and women like Michelle Obama and Remy Ma and all the others, they can't handle the truth. The truth to them is how they feel, not the truth in itself. And so I've learned, and I'm learning, guys, as I get older, theology says if you become a fool when you answer a fool in accord to his own folly. And so I'm learning now, guys, not to argue with fools. Let fools be fools. You cast a fool to the wind and let God judge them on the back end, because God can always deal with them better than you. So we're going to get into it, guys. We're going to get into it. We're going to get deep into it because men are beginning to check out. And once again, it's women like this, like what these ladies are saying, that are going to be the reflection points of so many modern black women in the future.
Interesting to me that these are the same women shouting from the rooftops when they're our age that they feel invisible, that it's hard, that where are all the good men, that being single is so sad and depressing. So this is the wisdom, young ladies, if you're willing to listen. When you get older, you will be so grateful to not have to do the last third of life by yourself.
You know, Paco, winter is coming. I remember a time where most women had husbands, and Kevin Samuels talked about a time called winter. And you know, winter not only symbolizes the seasons that are about to come, but winter symbolizes a stage in life. When you look at some of your, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Right,
yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I am in the storm. Okay? I got a part-time job. I'm a tax expert, so I only work during tax season. I'm 60 years old. I don't have retirement. My family is spread across the country. Yes, and I don't have a strong black man who I love black men in my life. I'm not mad. I know my time is past.
Wow.
But I am in the winter.
Wow.
I'm in the storm.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there was a time when you had a viable black man, but you forfeited that by sometime bad choices?
1000% correct.
Oh my God.
I was married.
Right.
I was fine as hell, and I thought that I was black girl magic.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's why I know the death mentality.
And I thought that I was.
Go ahead, keep talking. You said you thought you were black girl magic. Keep talking, Parker.
Oh, but life and reality.
My perfect man would be a tall black stallion. He loves to cook because I'm not really a good cook, so that's his thing. He loves driving. He loves driving the kids to school in the morning. He's just really, really hands-on, with my kids. He's sterile because he can't have kids of his own, so he really cherishes mine. He's funny. We do movie quotes all the time. Every time we go around, we just laugh and do karaoke. He's smart. He is very good with the money. He takes care of all that, and he just lets me, make the beds.
Nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't delete the ski.
I know a who used to suck.
And so what happens, guys, there was a song back in the 80s that said, after the love is gone. And then the Doobie Brothers made a song back in the day that say, what a fool will believe. The wise man has the power to reason away. I don't want you men to be fools. And I want you guys to understand, to the women that are listening. I'm going to say this again. I don't hate women. Every time or anytime men give critiques, people assume that they hate women or black women. I don't hate black women. I hate the behavior of many modern women, black women or white women or whatever. I want to see a poll, guys. If you could find the right woman that would love you, respect you, and honor you, and if the laws were in your favor, and she understood her assignment, she was not indoctrinated by liberal dogmas, she was a virgin to low body count, she was feminine, she worked out, she was your cheerleader, and that's only if you're a good man yourself. We're not talking about dusty men that try to hate or hurt women. I'm not talking about dusty men, but I'm talking about hardworking, decent, white collar and blue collar black men that have done the work mentally. They're working on their physicality. They've done the internal work. But I want to see by a show of hands, if you can find a quality woman that had some of those virtues, how many of you guys would make those women your wives? I want you to hit one. I want to see, because a lot of people, when they hear men content, they make the false assumption that men hate women. Don't hate women at all. All the men that I talk to say that they love women, but the kind of woman they want is hard to find. And so I want you guys to hit one. Please hit one. And then we're going to get deep into the show.
She's jealous of him.
So once again, guys, Kevin Samuels was often chided for speaking out on modern women and modern women deception. And his words still reign true today. While a lot of Kevin's talking points were the talking points of other male content creators, he did a great job of marketing what other men were saying. His conversations were more or less a banter of what other men were saying, but Kevin had a unique way of selling it and packaging it in a way that was unique. But how many men, if they can find a wholesome woman, the laws were in your favor, she got low bodies to a virgin, she don't have kids by other men, she's in good shape, she has a pleasant attitude, how many black men will want to find that kind of black woman in America? I want you to hit one. And then we're going to get deep into it. But in the meantime, guys, hit the like button. Don't let Gregory Scotland and Brother Shabazz be the only one to donate. Hit the like button, guys. Donate to the channel and share the stream. and we're gonna run through these montages. Hold tight. Shout out to my man, Mr. Bougie, St. James Palmer. St. James Palmer, man. He said he want him a good woman. He said he want him a good woman, you know. He said so he can wear some of that bougie cologne. He's a good brother. He said he want him a good woman. But they hard to find. they are hard to find, man. The kind of man, a woman that most men want, they are hard to find. Shout out to Brother St. James.
She's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there. Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was. Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph.
Marcel!
And that's what it is fundamentally. It's jealousy. It is jealousy. It's jealousy tied to selfishness. It's jealousy tied to selfishness. It's jealousy, guys, tied to being selfish. And it's never enough. A millionaire, she got the best chefs. She probably got a beautiful home, a nice rock. She got what every other woman would dream of. But because he is more in the spotlight than her, because she don't like being in his shadow when she should count on the honor to be in the shadow of her husband, then there's a problem. And so they are ungrateful, consistent with theology and consistent with what theology said will happen, sadly, in the last days.
Men in relationships that have been cheated on before know that there are precursors to it. It's like that famous Ozark scene where he was like, I don't remember who said it. You had a million chances to say no. You could have said no at the grocery. Could have said no when he texted you. Could have said no when he called you. Could have said no when you met up. When you sucked the dick. You had a million chances to say no. Some of those lines, some of those precursors, people think Ayesha Curry is hidden.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it.
When you hear your girl in the house talking about how she missed the glory days or I missed out on the whole days, that could be nothing. But it also could be something. Right. Something. One for me that has been prevalent in life is, oh, you're not looking at me with the same eye you looked at me like before. Thanks. Before I knew what that one meant.
How many of you guys have been in relationships where you gave your best, or you thought you gave your best? You know, you bought her the house that she wanted. You worked hard. You gave her the ring that she wanted, and you never got the proper respect in return. I want you to hit one. Hit one if that's happened to you.
I just thought I took it at face value. Oh, shit, I got changed now. Look at you. That don't mean that.
They don't. That nigga outside looked at me with the new eye.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and boy, did it feel good.
It felt good. They was sparkling.
Boy, did it feel.
You lead a whole water player, but you can't make a thing. You dig what I'm saying?
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And then it happened so early in my life. He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't.
So you're going to deal with women like Ayesha Curry. You're going to deal with Ayesha Curry's shenanigans. You're going to deal with Ayesha Curry's sense of entitlement. You're going to deal with Ayesha Curry's sense of thinking that she's better than the man that she's with. And sadly, the list goes on and on. And so, you know, one of the things I've always said, guys, I don't believe that men should fall in love. I think falling in love is not only silly, but it's dangerous. Do I think a man should love his woman within reason? Yes. But falling in love is dangerous because a man can become a saboteur of his own ignorance. He can love her and love her within reason. But falling in love, sadly, is woefully dangerous. And one might argue that Steph might love her more than she loves him. That's what Steph might argue, that he loves her more than she loves him. And when a woman is showing that kind of disdain for an honor so high as marriage, then it's a problem. It's a high honor to be married to a man like Steph Curry. But once again, guys, many times it's not enough. It's not enough. Let's go back to this for a minute. Hold tight. Now, look at Ayesha Curry, guys. Look at Ayesha Curry. Imagine if Steph Curry said that, you know, I regret getting married. I could have been traveling abroad and been a passport bro. I could have dated multiple women, but you know, I feel like I put my needs aside to be a husband based on what I was told. I should have enjoyed my life more, dated multiple women, traveled abroad before I decided to settle down and be a father and give all my assets. They would have said he's a bad man. They would have said, girl, you deserve better. They would have told him to leave her. But when sensible men and women speak out against Ayesha Curry, it's a problem. And I'm disappointed in Ayesha because Ayesha wasn't always this way. I used to look up to her. And I get this a lot of pressure. But if you hang out with the wrong women, Ayesha, you get fleas. You need to stop hanging around women that will give you mental fleas.
He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't well. Well, guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph.
Marcel!
Now, look at this, guys. Look how problematic this is. Ayesha Curry gestures taking her ring off as a muscular man, Marcel, walks on the set. That shows a lack of self-awareness. That shows a woman that's conflicted. That shows a woman that appears to be highly ungrateful. That shows a woman that doesn't value what she has. You know how many women wish they had a personal chef, a nice home, nice cars, high-end equipment, the best nutritional plan, can have kids. She's still young. And Steph always trying to capitulate. And, you know, Steph Curry would be wise to say, you know what, babe, I get it. And I know it's hard, you know, because it's had a young baby. But you know what, babe, I get it. I tell you what I'm going to do. Give me some time. I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead with your life. We can be friends. We'll take care of our kids. And then Steph Curry just need to level up. But what she's doing is highly disrespectful. Because I promise you, if Steph Curry took his ring off and he was flirting with other women coming out, then he would have been lambasted in the media. But see, it's this double standard. Women can disrespect men and they're supposed to remain silent. But when men begin to speak out, he's misogynistic, he's misandric, his mom is black, and all these shaming tactics are utilized to psychologically abuse men and to keep men in their place. And what she's doing is not only dangerous, but it's highly disrespectful.
in relationships that have been cheated on before know that there are precursors to it. It's like that famous Ozark scene where...
Shout out to my man Quiet Faith. Shout out to Quiet Faith as he's one of the #1 sponsors of the stream. Shout out to Quiet Faith. Sora C says, shaking my head, stupid. She seems very childish. She seems like she just want the attention. She wants to be the princess at the tea party. She just wants a fantasy, which is stupid. Shout out to my man Quiet Faith. It's been a minute. He said, I don't think I would marry. He said, my experience and observation has shown me the scale of spiritually unstable women. He said, my experience and observations have shown me the scale of spiritual instability women can reach. Women are beautiful, but they don't have a mind to love one now. They don't have a mind. Okay. Women are beautiful, but I don't have a mind to love one now that I understand them. Yeah, it's sad, man, right. And it's a true saying, Quiet Faith. You can either love them blindly or you can understand them, but you can't do both. And so once you understand female nature and understand that every woman does not act on her dark nature, but she does have a nature, you can either love her with the understanding that she has that dark nature, she might revert to that nature, or you can love her blindly. If you love her blindly, then you become a fool because now she decided to say, I don't want you anymore. Now your heart is broken, your mind is broken. And women have always said, why can't men get over it? Because men are not wired to get over things they love hard. When a man is in love, a man loves extremely hard. When a man loves a woman, he gives his best. He becomes impregnated by the allure and the aura of a woman. But once that woman betrays him by either disrespecting him like Ayesha Curry is doing, by allowing another man to enter her, or lying about how many men she had before he got with her, then that man said, nah, I'm good. I can never love a woman the same again. I'll tolerate her, but I can never give my best. And I understand that vulnerability is important in a relationship, but you can never allow yourself to be that vulnerable, sadly, because it's just too much risk and the pain is too unbearable. So shout out to my man Quiet Faith for that $20 super chat, as he and St. James Palmer are both the #1 sponsors of the stream. Shout out to my man Quiet Faith for that 20. Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother.
He was like, I don't remember who said it. You had a million chances to say no. You could have said no at the grocery. Could have said no when he texted you. Could have said no when he called you. Could have said no when you met up, when you sucked the dick. You had a million chances to say no. Some of those lines, some of those precursors, people think Ayesha Curry is hidden.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought
she didn't want kids and she didn't want to get married. Think about it, guys. She didn't want kids and she didn't want to get married, but yet she got married and had kids. At any point, she could have said, listen, I don't want to do this, but now she's playing the victim. And now Steph Curry is the bad guy. So once again, imagine if Steph said, I shouldn't have gotten married. I didn't want to get married. I just got married because my parents told me to do so. I really wanted to travel and date other women. I'm tired of being a father and raising these kids. It would have been all over the news. But this is the hypocrisy, guys, that we're dealing with in America.
I was going to be career girl and that's it.
When you hear your girl in the house talking about how she missed the glory days or I missed out on the whole days, that could be nothing. But it also could be
something.
Right. Something. One for me that has been prevalent in life is, oh, you're not looking at me with the same eye you looked at me like before. Before I knew what that one meant, I just thought, I took it at face value. Oh shit, I changed now, look at you. That don't mean that.
It don't. That nigga outside looked at me with the new eye.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and boy, did it feel good. It felt good.
They was
And
sparkling.
boy, did it feel
You lead a whole.
Yeah, she want them new eyes. She got rich woman problems. She want them new eyes. She got rich woman problems. She's not grateful for her husband. She got rich woman problems. She got rich woman problems. Shout out to my man Jay Sharp. Shout out to my dear sister Bashur. Shout out to her. But she got rich woman problems because she's ungrateful. And you know what the sad thing is, guys? While I don't endorse fornication, I don't. I know people do it. Men and women are not the same, and they keep thinking that they can go out here and do what men do, and they can do it, but they can't do it because the consequences are different. And they don't understand that men are not wired to have the thought of multiple men penetrating their woman, but they just don't get it, and they don't care. They only want to do what's in the now, and then they want to come back and want a man to love them and protect them on the back end. And guys are saying, I mean, these men's spaces are changing the conversations in dating and relationships, and many sadly don't like it.
Water player, but you can't make a think. You dig what I'm saying?
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And then it happened so early in my life. He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true.
My husband really loves my feet.
Oh, I love that.
And so, like, the light was hitting him just right that day. And so I was like, let me just snap this photo and send him a picture of my feet. So I always say, like, when he says to send nudes, like, that's what he's getting, a picture of my bare feet.
Beautiful.
Real
Don't
dangerous.
ever think for 1 minute that it ain't some men out there looking at you like I wish. Honestly. And I'm going to tell you who knows that more than anybody.
But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right.
Marcel.
And you know what the biggest problem is, guys? You know what the biggest problem is? A lot of women that have money, status, they're giving their bodies to multiple men. They had their fun. Now they're wishing they had what Ayesha Curry had. I know this is going to be controversial, what I'm saying. And I know everybody doesn't believe in religion, and that's fine. But a woman's number one purpose was to bear the seed of her husband. And then everything else came last. Her number one purpose was to bear the seed of her man, to build communities, to build wealth, to build legacies. And then if she wanted to get a career on the back end, she could. But, I think it's so wise that I think many men that are traditional by nature are beginning to see the qualities of the women now. And they're just saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to travel. I'm going to focus on my health. And if the right one comes along, fine. But I'm going to raise the bar so high. Men need to start raising the bar high, because what men are getting now, our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers got better women. And if the world won't change until men raise the bar a lot higher. The world won't change until women start saying, you know what, we're going to call out the women that are messing our opportunities up for getting good men. And they make good choices and they make good decisions too.
And yet one of the titles you didn't say is NBA wife.
Yeah, no, I don't think...
That's not really a title in your view.
It's not, no. I don't think I'll ever call myself that, because I feel like... I mean, I don't think my husband would call himself chef's life.
Jada's my heart. You know what I mean? She would be my friend.
She don't think her husband would call himself a chef's wife. That's competition. That's competition. That's competition instead of cooperation. That's competition instead of cooperation. And that's why so many men are saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm just gonna focus on myself. I'm just gonna do what's best for me, and I'm just gonna love me. I'm gonna do what's right, and I'm gonna focus on uh, doing the right thing for myself, doing the right thing for my family, and doing the right thing for my mental wellness overall.
For my whole life. Well, maybe I'll be down to scoop you up.
And this has always been the I'm sure in the back of Will Smith, knowing that his wife has always had an abiding love for another man. I'm sure that's been very catastrophic for him.
Late in life, you ain't all shriveled up. We'll be all together. Be like Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee.
Vic, you know you always got a place in my heart.
She can have my one heart, my liver, my lungs, my kidneys, my blood, marrow, all of that.
Okay, you know, August is dating Jada Pinkett Smith, and that was something that was circulating.
And guys, by the way, these are some of the embarrassing moments that these men have had to endure with their selfish, ignorant wives. You know, this is what a lot of men have had to endure: the disrespect, the challenges, the lack of self-reflection, the lack of wholesomeness, the lack of emotional intelligence. This is what men are getting now. Women that have been conquered by other men, that have the memories of other men. Some of the men that she slept with, she's still in love with those men. And when you get her, you think you're getting something wholesome, but you're not. You're not getting anything. You're mostly getting a woman that's desperate, and you're getting a woman that's looking for somebody to help facilitate a lifestyle.
As a rumor, and that kind of solidified it to people. So
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, you know, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
Right, you did the right thing.
And I really loved a person. I experienced that. I know what that.
Think about a man commenting on his wife and his love for her, his profession of his love for her, and her husband having to deal with that kind of level of shame and guilt. Think about that. Now, let's reverse it and say Will Smith did the same thing with some of his children's friends, how much of a dirtbag he would have been.
That feels like, and some people never get that in this lifetime. So I know that I'm completely blessed. And this conversation is difficult because there's so much that it would be hard for people to understand.
I think it was about 4.5.
Right. She doesn't realize that men have respect for her being his wife. Yeah, exactly. But you want to compete with you want to compete with your man. It's so sad, man. It is so sad. They would love to be in her position. I totally agree.
4 years ago, started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult.
Now imagine telling your husband, imagine telling your wife, me and Jane Doe became very good friends, and your husband got to listen to you violating their marriage, and maybe they had an open relationship. I don't know, but imagine the turmoil and hurt that man got to endure with the so-called woman that called her his wife.
Time.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
No, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes. The one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right.
We ride together.
We
together. Bad marriage for life.
Let's go over what we just watched. We just seen them confirm that they were separated when the entanglement happened and were both doing their own thing. It was also mentioned that there's never been secrets in their relationship. So Will clearly knew about the situation before it got.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brother Brock Elliott. You are 100% correct. We are getting closer to the coming of the Messiah. I do these shows with the understanding that the world is not going to change in our lifetime. I do these shows, Brother Brock, with the understanding that you have to more or less sometime infuse clinical concepts with urban topics and trends to get the message across. But I do agree with you parenthetically that we are in the latter part of the last days, that we are upon the burgeoning return of the Messiah. And Jesus said that things will wax worse and worse. He said in the last days, people will be ungrateful. And if you guys that came in, it's consistent with the book of Timothy. He said that men will be lovers of their own selves, covetous, meaning they will want what other people have. They will be boasters, boasting about how great they are. They will be proud. A lot of these modern women are proud. Blaspheme. They blaspheme the name of God. They blaspheme the name of the image of God. They blaspheme anything and all things pertinent to traditional theology. Children now are highly disobedient to parents. Younger kids or younger children, and also adult children. Adult children are different than younger kids, but adult children should have a high level of healthy respect for their parents. People assume because they are adults that they're no longer the child of that parent. But children always will be the child of a parent. When my mom died, I was still her child. I was an adult child, but I was still her child. To those that serve Yahweh or the Most High, they still are children of God. They might be adult children in the faith, but they are still children of God. And so it's a generation that don't respect order. They don't respect family. They're very rebellious. Many hide behind religion. Many don't take self-accountability. Many can point at your flaws, but they cannot internalize and look at themselves. They want to challenge your leadership. They want to challenge your authority. They don't know how to conceive with grace because they are operating in the flesh. And so the list more or less talks about unthankfulness alongside with the negative characteristics of people in the last days. So you're right, brother. We are in the latter part of the last days. I believe we're living in the book of Timothy, 2 Timothy 3:2. And it's not going to get better. It hasn't gotten better since I was a kid growing up. It's gotten precipitously worse. And you know, as I said before, guys, I'm not against marriage. I think marriage is a beautiful ideal in the right circumstances. But what men are getting now is nothing. Many have been damaged by so many other men that got a lot of trauma. Can you find a needle in the haystack? Perhaps. But do you want to take the time to waste your time to find that? I don't think most men want to do that, especially when you get a certain age. You just say, you know what, I'm good. I ain't got time to argue with a woman. I ain't got time to debate with a woman about gender roles and tradition. I don't have time to argue with a woman that thinks it's beneath her to cook me a meal. You know, but yeah, she expects me to do all the traditional things as a man, like cut grass. You know, I'm good. I'll just stay single, read my Bible, and practice until Jesus come back. You know, because it's not going to get better. It's not. The world is in total darkness, and as we get closer to the coming of the Messiah, you're going to see more evil and you're going to see more demonic manifestation. So I agree with you 100%, brother. I agree with you 100%.
Posted on social media, so please stop the hate towards her, as saying she lied or cheated is false.
If anybody has parents who've been married for a long time, and if you really ask them, they'll tell you that there were probably 10 years where they hated each other. But if you're married for 40 years and you hate each other for 10, I'd take those odds. It's like, okay. Like, you're going to love him for 50 years, but 10 years, you're going to hate him. You don't want to push him out of the window. Not a high one, a low one. You don't want him dead.
Now, I'm not a fan of Barack Obama, but imagine if Barack Obama said the same thing. Imagine if Barack said, you know what, for many years, I didn't like being married to Michelle. She was too moody. She wasn't affectionate. I felt like I took a lot of time. I minimized my career. I could have done more in my career if I wasn't married to Michelle. But the reason why women don't get mad at other women is because women many times secretly have something called penis envy. They want what they either think to be power or their perception of power. They have penis envy, a lot of them. And they get mad at masculine men because they want to be like those said men. And a lot of this, guys, is envious. It's envy. Envy means to want something that somebody else have. They want that power. Barack was in the spotlight, and I'm not a fan of Barack Obama, but he was in the spotlight, and she wanted the power because let's be real. Michelle Obama is a nobody without Barack Obama, and I know some people are not going to like that, but she is nothing without Barack Obama. Obama pushed Michelle to the forefront. She would have been an average lawyer in Chicago without Barack, but because of her jealousy, her envy, and her wanderlust for power, she got a problem with one of the with what many would argue was one of the most charismatic presidents in America. Even though I didn't agree with his politics and I'm not a fan of him, the man was highly charismatic.
You just want him injured. He's not, he doesn't have emotional shifts. I mean, he's very steady. No mood swings. Yeah, I can make him mad. I'm probably one of the few people who can really make him mad.
Why? How do you make him mad?
Any number of ways.
Yeah.
I'm being thoroughly unreasonable.
And I need some from him, but I need to figure out how to build my life in a way that works for me. So 7:30 was bedtime. And it was like, if you want to see them and if you want to be here, then you have to get here. We're not waiting for you. You've got to catch up to us. And I think I say that I knew that in this life that this husband I was with, this swerving dervish of a person, that I would have to ground myself and my kids firmly somewhere and have him catch up to us. We do sometimes.
Listen to what she said. You want your husband to catch up to you. Now let's see what theology says, if you believe in theology. Theology says that woman was made for man, man was not made for woman. She should have been catching up to Barack Obama instead of Barack catching up to her. But that's why, your good is never good enough. It's never good enough. The most powerful man in the world, he got to catch up to her because she thinks she's the prize. If Barack Obama had got rid of Michelle Obama, he could have got superior or better looking than Michelle. Michelle is not a very attractive woman, in my opinion. She's not. I mean, no hate, but I don't find her attractive. But all of a sudden, he got to catch up to her. Look at that level of disrespect. There's so many men in their marriages that are afraid to speak up. They're neutered, they're emasculated, and they won't say anything. The wives disrespect them. They won't stand on business. They won't stand on power. And many just suffer in silence.
Sometimes we take on more because we feel guilty when we go work out or when we go to the hairdresser. And so and we also don't trust him with our kids.
Will they arrive
when
intact
they arrive
without a broken bone?
intact. So we have to
That's emasculation. Imagine if Barack Obama said, I don't trust her in the kitchen. She doesn't cook as well as my mom. I don't trust her to make executive decisions. Look at how she's emasculating her husband. But imagine if he said the same or similar things that she's saying.
Like you said, let it go. My advice, when I stopped resenting my husband for that, was when I started prioritizing myself and I didn't wait for him. So the help I learned didn't have to come from him, but I needed it. So I relied on my mom and my girlfriends and a broader community of people to give me that break so that I'm not so mad at him all the time.
Michelle Obama can't stop telling the world how hard her marriage is to Barack Obama.
I heard you say that you had 10 years where you didn't even like Barack, so I'm like, man, where is that coming?
And people think I'm being catty by saying this. It's like there were 10 years. Well, I couldn't stand my husband.
You know, I just tell the truth. You know, it's like you have these periods, right? And if you're married for 30 years, you know, like you just look at the odds. And as I became a married woman and I talked to mom, I shared some of the frustrations. And because the girls and I are very irritated with the way Barack chews.
Oh, my God. I was one of those wives who thought, I'm taking you to marriage counseling so you can be fixed, Barack Obama. Because I was like, I'm
right. Now, freeze. Freeze. Now, listen to what she said, guys.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better. I'm sick of Obama's wife.
Hold tight.
This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know, more and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country.
Now listen to what she said. This happens many times, guys, in therapy. Many don't go to therapy when they tell the husband to go to therapy because they want to see how they both have problems. But they go to therapy because they want to confirm that their husband has a problem. And that in itself, guys, is confirmation bias. They don't go to the therapy for true change. They go to therapy for the therapist to agree with them that their husband is the problem and they're the victim. And that's why many relationships don't work in America, because self-reflection is not there.
You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call the plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking, wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment.
Listen, I understand marriage being challenging at times, and any time when you have to learn to work with a group of people, you know, or anybody else, any individual, you're going to have moments of challenge. Sure. I say it all the time. But I am getting sort of tired because I used to look up. I should at least respect and admire the fact that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, you know, they've been able to build what it looks like is a family and have children that aren't an embarrassment to the family. There are plenty of celebrity couples and famous people out there whose kids are just an embarrassment. You know, you're like, what happened there? But what I didn't expect is that's exactly what Michelle Obama has become. I think I am tired of seeing different wives get on camera and just shit on their husbands. You know why? Because when they do this, you never see it the other way around. Perfect example. You never see Steph Curry get on a podcast and talk about his wife the way.
Right. Never. He never does. He never denigrates her. He never denigrates her, but she constantly denigrates him. But where are the people speaking out in fairness for Steph Curry? You won't hear them because women, by default, are victims.
His wife gets on a podcast and talk about him. You'll never see Barack Obama get on a podcast and go into detail about all the ways that Michelle annoys him and the things he can't stand about her. It's always the other way around. And that dynamic in relationship for men who value, especially more traditional marriages, men who value respect, they don't want that type of a relationship and dynamic, right? It's like the Homer Simpson, oh, he's so annoying, he's so stupid, I can't stand him. It's one thing for you to have that type of lighthearted back and forth with your close friends, you know, when you meet up and talk to other women. Maybe when you're talking to your man, you know, you get on each other's nerves once in a while. It's another thing to get on a platform. And in almost every situation, when you talk about your marriage, you're just constantly talking about
sustained passion for many decades. This emptiness, this impoverishment, this is not good. If this were my marriage, I would haul my wife into a therapist's office and I would stay there until we work this out.
Well, haul your wife into a therapist's office. The woman's not objective. It's not going to help anything. A lot of these modern therapists now are very woke. Sadly, some of them are. A lot of them are. There got to be accountability and objectivity, and they got to have hard conversations. But can they or will they have hard conversations?
Or sometimes marriages don't. They dissolve when this kind of thing starts happening. And it's got to be really rough with the kind of idealization that they want to maintain in the eyes of others. I think it's a good idea that she's saying, hey, we're human beings. There's some real stuff here. I would like to see some real stuff, however.
We have done the agonizing and excruciating, dangerous work of just going through and finding old clips of Michelle Obama insulting and making fun of Barack. And it's hard to watch. You know, again, it's like hard to watch anyone be treated like this, even if you don't like him, Barack Obama. But you can see the obvious trends here. She hates him. He must really hate her. And yeah, I think they're just in it for the money. Maybe that's always been the case, right? And maybe there's a lot more going on there under the hood, if you know what I mean. Either way, sucks to suck. Don't marry a angry, bitter, gargantuan, feminist orc. That's the life lesson. Here you go.
You know, I have to say, Brian, if I'm a single girl out there and I find out that Brian Chesky is single and I can like stay in his house, have you ever?
There you go. Right
you
to the relationship,
ever-
but Brian, you don't have to be feel pressured.
No, but we've never talked about
he
this.
just got here.
Have you
Her-
ever?
her
and her husband have tried to set me up before, so
I'm very invested in
I appreciate
Brian's
it.
love life. But
Wait.
so you've never met anybody?
The fact that people don't see me going out on a date with my husband sparks rumors of the end of our marriage. I mean, it's sort of, so we still, you know, so
Like
that
the
is
apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse. It's like,
She got contempt for her husband. And you know, and truthfully, guys, he should have never married this woman. He should have never married her. But she definitely got contempt for her husband.
like, okay, so we don't Instagram every minute of our lives. We are 60. You just are not going to know what we're doing every minute of the day, you know? And yes, I guess we're famous, but we're 60.
You are. You're real famous.
We don't
60-year-old.
take selfies. I just, you know, Barack was joking. He's like, you don't even take pictures of anything we do. I was like, I'm not thinking about a picture.
I know,
Why
right?
would I
You're trying to
capture
be in
it?
the moment. I'm really
here.
bad at taking pictures.
That's
too.
right.
It's about what he needs as a grown man in the world. That would be.
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama.
It's like baby Barack. It would have been amazing.
Ooh, no, I would have felt for him. There was a line of people waiting to shake hands with our respective husbands.
Okay.
You know, people like reaching over our heads and spilling water on us, trying to get to these two, you know, illustrious men, you know,
That's
she
contempt.
she had the same look on her face as I did. Like, here we go, you know? And I looked over at this beautiful woman. Did we even have a conversation? Not until later in that afternoon. And that
So
was,
you hadn't met.
we hadn't met.
You just
This
saw
was, you know,
each
kind of,
other
but I
across
just
the
saw
table.
the
Yeah.
look on her
Yeah.
face, which expressed the sentiments that I felt, which was
Pissed off.
Barack, you know,
Yeah.
he had to adjust to what on time was for
Because he was on that island time.
well,
that
but you know, I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3:00. He's getting up and going to the bathroom, and I was like, dude, like 3:00 departure means you've done all that. You know, it's like, don't start looking for your glasses, you know, at the 3:00 departure. But he's improved over 30 years of marriage. But that was and
look at her talking down to her husband and talking as if he needs her validation and approval. Barack Obama's a simp, and he married a Jezebel. And yeah, right. And I'm not a fan of Barack Obama's politics, but the man definitely is being emasculated and disrespected by his wife. I agree 100%, man.
You must adjust. And Malia and Sasha, if they're doing anything with me, they are early.
Right.
So they've learned how to snap to it. Well, I couldn't have gotten through 8 years in the White House without my big brother. But you talked me into supporting his run. And he was smart enough to know that he needed to come to you and sell you on the idea.
Everything happened so fast because Barack went from a state senator to a U.S. senator, and next thing you know, people were saying this guy should run for.
We're gonna just be honest and keep it real. Remy Ma is bitter, and I'm not going back and forth with nobody. Remy.
And so this is what men have to deal with in these relationships now. Competition. Imagine, guys, you worked hard, you've gotten to a pinnacle of your success. But you got to compete with your woman and your wife. Imagine that. Imagine that. You got to compete with the woman that said she was about to love you, honor you, and respect you. Imagine that. And you got a lot of men dealing with this right now, sadly.
It's her.
Shout out to my man, Mr. Grover, for that 5. He said, do you think she is jealous of her husband? Both Michelle and Ayesha. Yes, sir, Mr. Grover, 100%. Yes, I think they're jealous. It's called penis envy. It's called wanderlust. It's called the thirst for power. Yes, sir, Mr. Grover. I think 100% she's jealous of it. She wants the spotlight. She wants the attention. And like Bashir said earlier, men are not giving Ayesha that kind of attention because they respect her. What Ayesha don't understand is that if she wasn't the kind of woman that Steph was looking for, she would have never got married. That's what made her special. But they don't realize what they got until they're single, until they go back into the streets and get ran through. And then they want to come back with a good man. Many don't recognize it or realize it until it's too late. Sadly.
Okay. First of all, Remy Ma and Papoose became big because of Papoose love and loyalty to Remy Ma. They went on Love and Hip Hop. And Love and Hip Hop, she thought she was too good for it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She ain't finished the season. Okay, cool. But I never heard nobody say, put on that Remy Ma. Okay? If it wasn't for Fat Joe keeping her afloat, where would she be at? Y'all gotta stop. This one right here, when they say put your foot in your mouth, she put her foot in her mouth. Okay? You thought that.
And guys, I don't know nothing about I don't know nothing about this Remy Ma. I don't know nothing about this secular stuff. I don't know anything about it. But I can only imagine. I don't know too much about artists and all that silly stuff. But I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Papoose was never going to come up off of you. He was going to stay loyal to you. Because let's be real. It was his love and his loyalty to her that put them on the map. For real, for real. Okay? This man started that black excellence. It was him. And you went out here, you was cheating. You thought that that boy that you was going to be with, you was going to have him on the side and still have Papoose. And it's not. It wasn't going to work. Okay? Now that this man have moved on and you stuck with who you want to, and let's be real, if y'all ever pay attention, she's not happy with that man she's with. You mad because Papoose is now loving Clarissa out loud. It's like every time Clarissa got something going on, here she come. Had Clarissa not went on that Angela Yee and did that interview, Remy Ma would have never said nothing. Remy Ma had every opportunity to say something. But when it comes down to them, she always gotta be the entitled. Like she gotta be the attention. Remy Ma is not trending. Okay? Nobody is thinking about Remy Ma. Come on now. Nobody thinking.
Shout out to my man Quiet Faith once again for that $20 super sticker. about penis envy. Nora Vincent is a cautionary tale. She lived as a man for 18 years, and the experience scarred her severely. She self-deleted at 20 and 22. Yeah, I did a story on Nora Vincent. I did a story on that Quiet Faith. I definitely did, and you're correct. They thought it was good until it wasn't good. Being a man is hard. It's not as easy as people think it is. And so some learn the hard way because of it. Being a man is very hard. But a lot of these women want to be in Barack Obama. I mean, not Barack Obama, but a lot of these women want to be in the shoes of men. They want to be like their men. I think some of them have secret animus and hatred towards their men. They want the power of their husbands. And that in itself, in my opinion, is problematic. I don't like how Michelle Obama denigrates her husband. I don't like how Jada definitely denigrates her husband. I don't like how Ayesha Curry is constantly denigrating her husband. You should kind of honor the privilege to be with the men like that in your lives. But Barack Obama to me comes off as being very, very docile when it comes down to his wife. I would never tolerate that because if you got a problem with me, you keep it between us, regardless of what your intentions are. You keep that private. And sadly, she doesn't do it. And so it comes off as being very off-putting, in my opinion. Shout out to Quiet Faith, as Quiet Faith is the #1 sponsor of the stream, as he's donated $40 thus far to the chat. Shout out to Quiet Faith. Shout out to that brother for showing love. Quiet Faith, UIET, Faith, as he is the number one sponsor of the stream. Shout out to brother Quiet Faith, as he is the #1 sponsor of the stream.
About her. You're mad because now here it is, the shine is on another black queen. And the man that you once loved is now loving on her. Let that man love her out loud. Stop getting on here being bitter and mad. Because if you were so happy with your man, what you said yesterday, what she said, she would have never let come out her mouth. I don't give a hell how much I'm in love with my man. I'm not discussing another man while he's brown with.
Shout out to my
and
man
then you have to
Ryan
come on here and say,
Paladino.
when we laid
No
up
doubt,
yesterday,
Ryan,
girl,
thank
no,
you,
you
sir.
wasn't. I
Yes,
believe
indeed,
Papu. You
Christ
was on his
does
phone. You
love us, and he is knocking at the door. He loves us, and he is knocking at the door. And I do believe, Brother Ryan, that we are getting closer and closer to the coming of the Messiah. I believe that. Shout out to my man, Mr. Grover, for showing love. Mr. Grover said, I've seen videos of women saying they thought that they were missing something, got into the dating scene, and found out that there was nothing out there. By the time another woman had already locked down the man, they left. Yes, sir, indeed, Mr. Grover. 100%. You are 1,000,000% right. And so shout out to Quiet Faith. It's Quiet Faith is the #1 sponsor of this stream thus far, the #1 donor. Shout out to Quiet Faith for showing love. Shout out to Quiet. Shout out to those that donated. Guys, we're going to get into the second part. And we're going to look at this show clip by Tip Network. Tip Network always does good work. Shout out to Tip Network. We're going to explore his conversation about this situation with Ayesha Curry, sadly. And while so many men are checking out, so many men are becoming indifferent, and so many men just don't care, to say the least. And why Ayesha Curry, if she doesn't get it together, she's going to be a horribly sad woman. So shout out to Tip Network. Let's look at this real quick, guys, and then we're going to end the stream. But guys, this is what men are struggling with and dealing with now in 2025. The struggle continues. The struggle continues. And Ayesha Curry regrets getting married. Shout out to once again Tip Network. And like I said, guys, if there's profanity, I haven't viewed this video. I'm just going randomly, and so please forgive it. This is for edutainment only. So listen.
Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it.
The best thing that you can do is support and represent your husband well. You know, we don't hear nothing negative about Steph Curry. The only negativity that we've ever heard in relation to Steph Curry has to do with his wife.
And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
And I'm telling you, when men don't marry you, especially when they're young and dumb, see, my mind has graduated from when I was 30 years old. When I was 30 years old, I didn't understand enough about life because I was brought up in a single mother household, and my mother did her best to teach me what she.
And there are a lot of men that are raised in single parent households, and they compromise their masculinity. I think Barack was raised by a single mom. And I think that had a lot to do with why he allows this woman to disrespect him, in my honest opinion.
He could teach me, but I didn't know what it's like to be a man. So when I was 30 years old, I got married because I wanted to keep my woman. But nowadays, I wouldn't get married to keep no.
That's not the reason you do.
If I get married, I'm gonna get married.
You hear what Corey Holcomb said, and he's correct. And neither will I. If you don't want to be in this marriage, I'm gonna cast you back to the wind, cast you to the streets. As men, it's not our responsibility to bow to the emotions of our women. We love our women, but you bound to her and trying to assuage her and fawning and bojangling and tap dancing, you make yourself become a fool. That woman's job is to have emotional regulation. We've so far gone down the rabbit hole. Sadly, the churches don't preach the gospel because a lot of these, but let me take that back. There are churches that preach the objective gospel, but a lot of churches don't preach on women's issues because they understand that most of their parishioners are women and they don't have the courage to tell the truth. And sadly, they don't want to lose revenue.
Because this person is solid and respectable to me.
I strongly believe that a lot of these women, married or not, are aiding, into this feminist perspective. I am woman, hear me roar, and you are much more than whatever role that you're dealt.
The biggest lie.
Shout out to my dear friend Bashua as Shanette. Shout out to that dear sister. And she said that, and I agree with her 100%. She said that, let me see. She said if Ayesha Curry is not careful, she's going to end up like Tia Mowry. And you're right, Bashua. A lot of these women, sadly, they think there's a paradise out there. They think there are men abundant. And it's a lot of garbage out here from what I've heard. And to be in a prestigious position that she's having and more or less having wanderlust, no man going to take Ayesha Curry serious. Most men would just use Ayesha Curry and run through her. And then, they're going about their business. But they're not going to take her serious. And that's why one of the reasons why, guys, I tell men to travel abroad and get their passports because women abroad are just better raised to be there, but it's been better conditioned to be wise. And a lot of women are finding out now that what they thought was great is no longer great.
Society tells women is that in order to be a woman, you have to fall into those social norms. I just don't think it's fair.
What I find is that a lot of these women are speaking out against the role, even though they're in the role, right? Even though they have the husband and the kids and a certain lifestyle, they speak out like, oh, you don't have to aspire for this. You can do so much more. Meanwhile, you're doing that.
It's a death sentence for a lot of women because you feel constant pressure and negativity on you to be something that you just might not be, and that's okay. There's so many friends like right now that think they need to have a child in order to be.
And so, man, you don't think there's a lot of pressure on a man to be a provider. You don't think it's a lot of pressure on a man to be a protector. You don't think there's a lot of pressure on a man to put you in a nice house. You don't think there's a lot of pressure on a man to maintain a certain lifestyle. You don't think it's pressure upon a man to continue to make the money he's making in the NBA. You don't see the pressure that men go through. And like Brother Quiet Faith said, again, there was a lady that experimented on being a man, and she took her life once she realized how hard it is to be a man. Your life is nothing compared to the life of being a man. Men have it harder, in my opinion, than the average woman, because we got to always self-serve and self-sacrifice. At any point, a man is expected to put his life down for a woman. Women are not expected. That's the highest honor. A woman is not expected to put her life down on the line for a man, but a man is. He got to always be a provider and a protector and figure things out and how to more or less keep that woman afloat. Why do you think men die so early? A lot of women now are not cheerleaders and a man's confidant in his peace. What she's doing to Steph Curry is very emasculating. So all this, whatever, ma'am, stay single. To all the women that want to complain about marriage and life, just stay single, because in the pre-antebellum South, pre-antebellum South, and the post-antebellum South, Black women worked in the fields. Black men worked in the fields. Sometimes when Black men were working in the fields, the Black women would go work for white people. They still came home. They still cooked and cleaned, and they were happy. Women now got modern appliances. They got modern stoves. They got everything that's modern. They got some of the best appliances in the world. They've had more penises than their grandmothers or great-grandmothers could have ever had, and they're more unhappy now with more than women were back then that had a whole lot less. And that's showing you how great our society has declined.
Like, feel like a woman or experience what being a woman is. There are other ways.
Because as you all know, a long time ago, I've been talking about Ayesha Curry for years, and when the very first cracks in her marketing of herself as this nice, pure housewife, and she's telling all these other females, oh, why don't you be more modest and ostentatious looking and thottish? I mean, boy, the males everywhere, men everywhere were saying, finally, a woman who understands it and gets it. And it was the men who held her up. But I started seeing problems early on.
And I feel like we should have taken it as a red flag when she was sitting down with Auntie Jada Pinkett Smith at the Red Table Talk the first time.
Have any of that? Like, I have zero. This sounds weird, but like,
and you got these devilish women like Jada Pinkett Smith that cause a lot of the chaos that men are talking about. Theology says let the older women teach the younger women, and I know Jada Pinkett Smith is not a godly woman, but older women of the past taught younger women, listen, the older woman would say, listen, child, you got a good situation. You will be a fool to be wondering about what's out here in these streets. Be grateful for what you got. Be happy, because you got a lot more than what a lot of women don't have. But what they don't understand is that those women friends of her are many times jealous. They're waiting to set her up for the okie doke. Once she takes the bait, they're going to be in Steph's DMs trying to get with her husband. But they don't see it until it's gone, because they are self-deluded. And I understand the culture's changed. I know there's temptation. But Ayesha Curry, if you're struggling with temptation to go back into the world, you're a Christian woman, get on your knees and pray, fast, and ask God to change your impure heart and to clean your impure heart. And God will meet you halfway if you do it.
male attention.
Anything negative that you have said about your husband, or anything that you have said that is kind of like going against the idea or the thought process of marriage, is going to put you under a microscope.
She envies the thought's ability to get those primal sexual male reactions, that she doesn't feel validated, that she wants to be validated on their terms. She aspires to be like them, not the other way around. She doesn't see that she is what they should aspire to be. She's married to a peak value man.
I literally would. I'm the baddest 3-point shooting. I'm a Christian man. I done did everything I can do I got 4, 5 kids with you. I'm home every night. I ain't got no scandals.
Yep.
I could be out with any woman on a yacht. You never.
Never enough. Never enough. But you got women like the doctor that was on Dr. L's podcast talking about black men don't want to be married. Get married for what? To deal with toxic women behavior? To deal with arrogance? To deal with entitlement? To deal with women that want to compete with their men? To deal with women that don't understand what their position is and what their assignment is? Men are not accessories to women. If you look at all the Ibrahimic faiths, it says the woman was made for man. Man was not ever made for woman. Man was made to love his woman and die for his woman, but he wasn't made to serve her. He was made to serve God. And the woman was made to serve God and man. But they don't want that assignment because they think it's beneath them.
Seen that because it seems like she just wants rappers and athletes that's not Steph Curry. I think she wants street. If just looking at her, she want to spin the gamut with the street cat. And that's what she's going to do. When and if Steph Curry and children get of age, she's going to be one of those older women that get banged out by YNs. That's just my opinion. May not like my delivery, but that's what I think she's going to do. Because the way this woman is speaking, it's inevitable. She's going to do what she set out to do.
Also, I feel so bad for Ayesha Curry and the way that men respond to her every time she's honest about the realities of motherhood and wifehood is exactly why I never wanted to be a wife or a mother.
But it's okay for her to respond about the realities of wifehood and motherhood, but it's not okay for a man to respond about the realities of being a father and manhood. You see the hypocrisy, guys? The hypocrisy is always her needs are more important than my needs. Her needs have more merit than my needs. This woman got everything. She got what most women would die for, and it's never enough. It's never enough, and people once again wonder why men, by and large, don't want to be married, or men don't want to be in relationships. They wonder why. They wonder why.
Men act like saying anything less than "it's the most amazing thing that ever happened in my life and I wouldn't trade it for the world" is blasphemy. And it's because it disrupts this fantasy world that they live in where they think all women want, clean my dirty drawers and raise my children. That's all they want. And once they have that, they'll be happy. And that's all they should want.
That American women, in response to this, are going, oh, I can make my own money and I don't have to have kids and go through the painful process of labor and raising children alone. And I don't have to pretend to like someone's grubby little son in order to make ends meet, in order to survive. I have literally all the options in the world. Oh, I'm going to be a career woman and I'm going to be alone. And men's response to this is, better renew my passport, because you guys are the ones who are afraid to be alone. You guys are the ones.
No, not at all. We're not afraid to be alone, silly woman. Men, by and large, are not afraid to be alone. Men understand that we're going to be alone. Men understand that they're going to die alone. My dad is 82 years old. I lost my mom. And my dad is loving his peace. Men are, I get so sick of people trying to tell men what their standards are. And a lot of times these women are actually just projecting what they actually feel themselves. Men want peace. And a lot of men said, I'm going to get peace by any means necessary. I'm going to get my peace by any means necessary. And if it means me going to where I need to go at and doing what I need to do, then I'm going to do it.
Who would rather fly to a foreign country and find a wife than be alone. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? You don't see the irony?
Ladies, stop wasting your 20s finding love. Find money and a career instead.
A man who is not lost will not marry a disrespectful. Only way we marry disrespectful when we lost and we don't know what we need to know, because it ends up in a courthouse.
Right. But
the end of the relationship ends up in a courthouse.
Not
but a
your
woman
situation.
who's never been married talking to a woman that's been married don't sound right to me. If a woman is talking about another woman who ain't never been married. Y'all both on the same level. But if a woman who ain't never got a to do it is talking about a woman who has been married before, that seems strange.
On the right side of your screen, you ignore this at your peril.
Right, because see, she's already telegraphing that she want to throw around and be disrespectful. Listen, guys, what you guys are seeing now is what's called a microcosm. The microcosm of the small snapshots of Ayesha Curry is a macrocosm of the broader society. Are there equitable, solid women that are good women that are solid? Yes, there's a remnant group of women that are in the shallows. They're good women. They're good mothers. But they get shamed into wanting to be 304s. And nobody forced Ayesha Curry to marry Steph Curry. She could have stayed single. She could have focused on her career that would have never been as big as Steph Curry's. Her cooking show would never come to the power of Steph Curry. And Steph Curry could have went abroad and got him a traditional woman that respected him, gave him beautiful kids, and would have been content with the lifestyle that she had. But she's mad because she started off as a Christian woman, and then she went to her dark side, which is her solipsistic nature. And now she wants the attention of her husband. She's upset, even though she's a beautiful woman, that men are not giving her the attention that her husband is getting. Steph Curry is not asking for the attention, and this is what comes with the job. And so instead of her being grateful with the lifestyle, the money, and everything that she have, she's complaining. She never had to be under Steph's shadow. But imagine if Steph once again reversed it and said, I regret being a father, dealing with Ayesha and going on trips and buying clothes and buying new houses and rings and trying to prepare for these kids. I just rather be hanging out with the boys. Being on a yacht with a cigar and traveling. Being a husband is just too frustrating. It takes away my ability to have fun with my guys. He would be the worst guy in the world. And see, this is this dichotomous thinking where a lot of modern women lack self-reflection. And to y'all that came in earlier, I talked about men that are derelicts too. If you came in late, I earlier talked about derelict men. 2017, Ayesha, how I had a lot of respect for Ayesha. And I understand in part what she think is out here. But you should not be talking about and disrespecting your husband in public, ma'am. Because you won't want your husband to say, I'm tired of being married to the same woman. I got to be married to the same woman. I'm an NBA player. I make great money. I want to be with multiple women. All these fine women out here, I feel like I'm stuck sometimes. That man would have been lambasted in the media. And once again, the hypocrisy, guys, it's unreal. It's unreal, the hypocrisy.
But can we just be totally honest? This dichotomy you see on your screen, this is modern womanhood today. If you want to know why it is, ladies, that so many men today are opting out of getting married, it's because they understand the bait and switch. They understand the bait and switch. We can go through your phone and listen to the music that you listen to. We can take a look at the females that you emulate and idolize. We can take a look at the people that you, we take a look at all of these signs and we add it up and we realize right now we're dealing with a world full of bait and switch. That they pretend to be one thing until the day they can't pretend it any longer.
I don't think men in the United States are trained to pick a wife worth a dime. In the United States, men marry who they want to marry, which is the worst thing in the world you can ever do. I agree. Your wife is someone who actually, what do they used to do back in the day? They used to choose a wife for you. What is that called? Yeah, right, you need to be arranged to your wife to have the best chance of it working out. Where the families...
And a lot of these men, they can't choose the right woman in part because we don't have strong communities. And we don't have strong communities in part because a lot of modern women believe the lie of liberalism. And also they got with men that was sorry. They got with men that's a reflection of not the majority of solid black men, but they got with a small percentage of the worst black men, and they falsely equivocated those black men to all black men. And now they're suffering the recompense of their era. They're suffering the pain of trying to raise these boys by themselves. And a lot of these boys are making bad mistakes because they're making mistakes not based on principle, but based on the emotional whims of a woman.
can help the families.
And
A wife that you pick because you want her is going to destroy your family. The foundation of what a marriage can be can help build dynasties, build families up. But unfortunately, I'm not saying other people, I'm saying we, especially men in the United States of America, wind up marrying the girl we want to marry. Then we get our ass kicked in the game of life and we be smarter afterwards. Most of us, after we have been ran through court, put down, it ain't never enough. That's when smart men be like, I ain't doing that dumb no more.
And I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I see it all the time as a therapist in practice, where a lot of men are going through exactly what he's talking about. Men give their best. Men pay for everything. Some men take care of other men's kids, and they don't get respect. They come home exhausted. They come home dealing with an embattled woman. Because the theology says that a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman, she tears it down. No man want to be in a house with a woman that's quarrelsome and she got contempt for her husband. And that's why men are saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna choose peace. I'm choosing peace. I'm not getting no married. I'm not losing half of my assets. I'm not gonna deal with no woman that want to be the leader of the relationship, and I gotta walk on eggshells. I'm just gonna charge her to the game, let her have her fun, let her go ahead on to the streets, and I'm gonna have my peace. And I've decided to travel abroad. I get me a wife from overseas because the quality is better. They're better conditioned to be wives. They understand their assignment. They don't feel inferior because they understand that them being feminine is their superpower. But here in America, women want to compete with their men. They want to challenge their men's leadership, and they never want to do self-reflection or have what's called accountability. And men are just saying, you know what, I'm good. Because I didn't say it, guys. Janet Jackson said it better than me. Modern women, they want control in the relationship. They want control in the relationship, and when that man does not relinquish that control, then she has a problem. And so men are saying, you know what, I'm good. They're saying I'm good.
I will never do that. No, that's slavery. I'm saying all you men who keep getting married to that run you to the courthouse and destroy you, you're autistic. After you get f***ed over real good by the system, her system, the system provides tools for her to take your earnings that you went to school for and took out loans for and everything. You go to school, you get this education, and it helps you provide for your family. She has rights to all that as your wife.
True that as.
Ladies, gentlemen of polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. Embrace yourself. This one's a doozy.
Well, polite savages. It looks like Ayesha Curry's old clip when she was on Call Me Daddy or whatever that podcast is recirculating over on Twitter, X, and TikTok, stirring up the pot, kicking the hornet's nest of the modern woman's timeline and social media feed, where this old clip is still circulating on a weekly basis. This is how serious this disrespect is, where I'm gonna have to say it's on every modern.
And let me tell you young men something that are listening. You young men, the OG going to you young men. But women start talking about I'm disrespecting you in public and you don't check it, then you're part of the problem. If a woman start giving you hints that, she feel like she missed out on her life, and don't say anything. Just start privately getting ready. You can attempt to get her in therapy. Get her with a good traditional therapist and that has a Christian background, and that's going to be fair and neutral. Don't get her with one of these woke therapists. Tell her to come see the kosher clinician at gmail.com because I'm a licensed therapist. And but when she started hinting that she want to do this and that, don't argue with her. Let her go. Let her go on with her life. Because trust and believe there are women abroad that are superior in beauty. They're superior in their femininity. They don't mind respecting you as a man, and you don't have to always bow at her whims. She don't have self-awareness and self emotional regulation. Let her go on with her life. That's the greatest thing you could do. Let her go to the streets and don't try to save her.
Woman's subconscious mind, whether they would like to admit it or not, is that they want the authority to say whatever comes to mind, to let them indulge in their soft girl fantasy and live vicariously through Ayesha Curry. If she found herself to be walking in the shoes of Ayesha Curry, then this is exactly what she wants to do. She wants to go and tell the sinister sisterhood that disrespecting her husband is part of speaking her truth. She should have been able to live out her whole phase and mess around with street dudes and choose to go after her career over choosing to be with a superstar, 7-8 figure deals with a stand-up dude, record-breaking 4-time champion, multiple-time all-star, and most likely a Hall of Fame legend in Steph Curry. Instead, Ayesha Curry's gotta go and tell her truth by expressing her regret in being unable to continue in her pursuit and jumping on the movie screens and becoming a Hollywood star.
Did you feel like you had to pick between your career and your relationship at that point?
Yes. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
She had this idea of being like a career woman, you know, a certified boss chick with no husband and no kids.
I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that.
She wanted to be an actress, okay? And so she really believed that she was going to be the one, you know, that person in the limelight, all the attention on her, all eyes on her, doing her thing.
Can we talk about, so you graduated high school early to move to LA to start your acting career.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, the way in which she now talks about marriage, it's like comical to her that she's not living out what she envisioned for herself and that she took such a turn.
And then it happened so early in my life. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that...
So I wonder then, Ayesha, what are you learning about self-awareness? What are you learning about gratitude? What are you learning about unconscious thoughts? What are you learning about self-sabotage? What are you learning about irrational beliefs? What are you learning about irrational fears? What are you learning about unconscious motivations? And you being saying you're a woman of faith, what have you learned about what the words say about being anxious for nothing but everything with supplication and prayer? Let your request be known to God. Because this could be eradicated by Ayesha Curry being grateful and getting on her knees and thanking God for what she had. Ayesha Curry is probably in the top 5% of women, or top 2% of women in the world. But she's complaining about a life that most women would die for. And if she was wise, she would listen to Ayesha Curry, Tia Mowry, and see that things are not as bad as she think it is.
were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
But hold up a minute, let's just wait and take a deep dive analysis, looking at her different entrepreneurial endeavors, especially with the Sweet July website. We do not know if it has been a success or if a failure, but we gotta stop down and slow down to think twice. Where influence does not necessarily means that you're bringing in the big bucks. You gotta look at the budget books, and has it bringing in enough in being unable to continue to be qualified as a successful business and a successful social media career. Now granted, Ayesha Curry's been a mother, cooking and cleaning and serving her husband, at least that's what we hope. But for her to say that her career has slowed down because she had to make the sacrifice in becoming his wife, I think that's an downright lie. All you gotta do is look on her YouTube page, put her in the search field and search her name. And what do you see? A lot of inactivity. especially about 5 to 6 years ago when she was trying to make herself known as a cook, creating cooking content, and even sharing her favorite recipes that you can find on her website, which looks to me possibly having last been updated in 2023.
And you speaking of that way about your marriage with this man, who, again, could have the pick of the litter, could have a woman who would have no problem putting her career to the side, throwing her career in the garbage, not doing anything else besides, sitting down and being quiet.
And you guys are right that are listening. She is extremely ungrateful. Extremely ungrateful. Anton Smith said the woman will fight you to break down your family in the name of her happiness. Right. And a man will more or less break down his body in the hopes of keeping his family safe. Very, very ungrateful. Ungrateful, bad, and sad. Yes. Simon said no one forced her to get married. So true. Yes, sir. Very ungrateful, man. Very ungrateful. And sadly, they don't realize until they get back out here in the streets, they don't realize what they had until it's gone, guys. They do not realize what they had until it is gone.
And being his wife, and basically saying that was, so far away from what you wanted, it's going to make people look at Steph Curry and say, dang, bro, you got it hard out here,
When we look at Steph Curry, he a great basketball player. He never been in no outside trouble. People got a lot of respect for you as a man and as a player. You couldn't go around saying the same things about her that she say about your ass. Okay?
And that's the hypocrisy. Men are expected to fall on the sword and take the verbal abuse while their women and their wives denigrate them in public. I wouldn't tolerate it. Not at all.
And what it looks like to all the dudes is like, she talking down on you when you perfect. Like, this is the kind of man that all women want and say that ain't there. Faithful, take care of his kids, NBA champion.
What it comes down to is all about the appearances. It doesn't matter if she's actually made a success for herself, but it's the fact that her name is attached to a high status, high value man in Steph Curry. Ayesha is helping herself to the Curry name, leveraging it to go on different podcasts and embarrass him wherever she goes, where the modern woman in the sisterhood is rallying right behind her immediately the moment she gets critiqued for talking so disrespectfully.
I have come to the conclusion that y'all just don't like her. And the only thing she did was speak her truth in her marriage.
There's no such thing as her truth, ma'am. That's a thinking error. That's called minimization. It's no such thing as her truth. Her truth and his truth and all that nonsense is something called moral relativism. It's no such thing as her truth. It's the truth. It's the truth is the truth. It's no such thing as her truth, because the truth is she's in a better situation than most women are. The truth is she got a good husband. That's the truth, or the appearance of being a good husband. And the truth is right now, she's being selfish and entitled and being ungrateful. So it's no such thing as her truth. I get so sick of these false idioms that people keep projecting, and people keep making these false idioms reality. It's not even predicated in reality. Be grateful for the man that you have. Because right now, if Steph Curry decided to say, okay, listen, you know what, Ayesha, I'm going to give you your freedom, baby. Let me give you what I need to give you in court. Get a fair lawyer. And Steph Curry could get superior to Ayesha. And Ayesha is attractive. But Ayesha can't get another Steph Curry. Steph Curry can get another Ayesha, or a pretty younger Ayesha, but she cannot get another Steph Curry. And that's what a lot of these chicks don't understand, because they think by default they're better than their men, and they're not better than their men. In other cultures, women understand their assignment. They understand that their husband, that if I support my husband and my husband's success, it's going to mutually benefit me. Wise women understand that. I'm gonna take care of my man, and my man's going to take care of me on the front end. I take care of him on the front end, and he take care of me on the back end. Because as he go up, she's going to automatically go up. And when women are loyal to their husbands, we know there are men that don't reciprocate the loyalty, but in general, most men, when they got a loyal woman, they're going to be loyal back to that woman.
She said nothing wrong.
Y'all are some haters, and y'all are jealous.
But I don't see why Ayesha Curry is wrong. I feel like she said nothing wrong. Like,
I genuinely just think people.
And look at the lack of self-awareness. They said she said nothing wrong. The lack of self-awareness, the entitlement, the lack of self-reflection, and not understanding how this woman is denigrating her husband. But once again, let Steph Curry retroact what she said. I regret being married. I got married too early because of what my family told me because of church. I just wanted the kind of family like my mom and dad. But I always wanted to date multiple women, travel abroad, be overseas. Being a father is hard. I don't like being a father. I wish I was a single man. I wish I could date multiple women. I'm making all this money now. The temptation is too hard. They would call him all kinds of names. They would say he's insensitive. He's a dirtbag. She needed to divorce him. He's disrespectful. He's misogynistic. But everything this woman is doing is consistent with being having a hatred for her man. Because you don't berate your husband in public. That's highly disrespectful.
People don't like that every word that comes out of her mouth isn't, I'm so lucky to be married to Steph Curry. Like, she has a life and businesses and children and like.
It's not authenticity that you seek out of these celebrities, because for Ayesha Curry to go on that podcast and say, when I first got with that man, this was not the life we planned. But you know what I didn't hear Ayesha say? I didn't hear her say that's not what I planned for, and oh my God, I have it, I hate it. I hate it. Somebody come pick me up.
What the ladies fail to grasp is that her personal issues is not meant to be broadcasted for all to hear about their confidential family matters on the internet. Instead, it should be behind closed doors and in their private bedrooms. She thought her talent was pursuing a career in movies. But this is the question I gotta ask all you polite savages and lady polite savages. With all the resources and money that she has, and the public support and the private support with Steph Curry and family, then shouldn't we assume that her creating cooking content was the thing that was going to launch her career and make her a household name alongside Steph Curry's? But what appears to me is that she's always been a competitor competing against Chef Curry.
Again, it wasn't too long ago that you were sitting down at the red table.
Oh, it's definitely competition. Ayesha is born in a masculine month. It's definitely competition. She's competitive. She want to be the alpha dog in the relationship. And by her being in that relationship, she feels like she feels less than, because her ego won't allow her to be humble. She's masculine. She has a masculine sign, and she want to be the top dog in that relationship.
Talking about the fact that Steph is getting all of this women attention, and you were getting male attention.
Have any of that? Like, I have zero. This sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then I begin to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me? Because I don't want it, but it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
It speaks to a certain level of competition that Ayesha seems to be in with Steph Curry.
And then when she did her Red Table Talk interview, that was when she finally let the cat out of the bag that she's been faking it all this time, that she really wanted that street level, that primal attention, that she really envies the bad girls.
Even further into the conversation of the interview, she talks about the fact that she was never even interested in him to begin with.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or was it legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
Run-of-the-mill light-skinned chick. Talking like she really somebody's like that or something. I thought I was going to be out there. You thought you were going to be what? This man saved you from a lot of penis and a lot of disease.
Yep.
And she don't even look at it like that. This man saved you from all these disease outbreaks that's out here. Because from what it looks like, Steph Curry is not cheating on you. From what it looks like. And you got the nerve to have this type of attitude? Ain't no way.
And Kwame Brown knows what he's talking about, because he was a former athlete. He was a former #1 draft pick. But it's never enough. It's never enough. And guys say, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not getting married. To all these women crying and complaining about men getting married, or why black men don't want to get married. And then when we show you the evidence, you still minimize it or gaslight people to think that we're the crazy ones. And guys will say, you know what, I'm good. I'm just going to stay single. and stack my money, or just travel abroad and get me a wife, or this focus on myself.
But this right here is over with. It's not if, but when in this situation. It's not if, but when. Most of us get divorced or break up. My baby mama gone faster than a peon when I was done playing. But I've done things that a girl was been supposed to be gone, so I'm not mad at all. So, but if Steph Curry hadn't done no, then this is a shame that he has to be disrespected in this way. This is a shame.
All the fellas going around in the NBA, the so-called professional athletes who keep running through females. Her husband ain't one of them. He takes care of the kids. He smiles. There are no mistresses falling out of the closets. He's smart with his money. He doesn't have any drug addictions. This man is a model citizen, and yet the little church girl is unhappy with him.
And that's what's so sad with Ayesha. A lot of folks used to respect Ayesha because Ayesha was proclaiming faith. But Ayesha, as she's letting the devil whisper in her ear, she is letting the devil whisper in her ear. She don't want to listen to the elders. She's letting the devil whisper in her ear, and she's going to suffer the recompense of her ignorance if she doesn't change.
Follow me, baby. The elders are old and out of touch. I have the power to help you become the better version of yourself. Listen to me. I know what's best for you. I am the snake whisperer.
The pride of life, the lust of the eye, and the lust of the flesh. And she thinks it's better out here, but it's not. And she decided to get rid of Steph. And Steph is part to blame because Steph needs to check that. Steph needs to check that and say, listen, the next time you go public talking about our marital issues out, there's going to be severe consequences. He needs to check that. And I get it. He might be afraid. But if I was Steph, I would start planning, get a divorce lawyer, the best divorce lawyers in the world, have your ducks in a row. In case she retaliates, you got an exit strategy. But he needs to check that.
She is dissatisfied with it. It's not enough.
Old clips still make their rounds on social media, where we're all wondering when the next time a pop-off drama is gonna occur when Steph Curry's wife, Ayesha Curry, start making her announcement that she's not happy and is wanting to separate. Now this is all speculation, but there are many other experts out in the field with first-hand experiences making their own predictions.
She said, I never wanted this. Anybody who never wanted something, they don't want it. She's only doing this while it's beneficial. I guarantee you, when Stephen Curry is done playing basketball, she is done with Stephen Curry. She is done. And I wouldn't wait. If I'm Stephen Curry, I'm not waiting until my basketball career is over and she can finish being the basketball wife. I'm leaving you right now. And make sure I'll be fighting for my last name. Give me my last name back. You ain't never want this? Give me my last name back and keep whatever your last name you had before that.
Avoid women who think they are better than you because you can never make them happy. Is your success?
He is so true. He is so true. I told you guys they only respect power and strength. That's all they only respect. And sadly, Ayesha is going to let wanderlust destroy her and her family. And also her relationship. And he's right. I think Ayesha Curry does think she's better than Steph Curry. I believe that.
Success continues to rise, their anger, their resentment, their animosity towards you will continue to rise. And especially if you're like Steph Curry and you actually attained it.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages.
All right. So that's one of them. That's one of them, guys. Hold on. All right, guys. Hold tight. I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys see me? Hello. All right. I want to find one more, and then we're going to end it. And once again, shout out to Tip Network guys. And so let's look at this one, fools marry, and then we're going to end it. But this is more or less proven. This is more or less proven why men don't want to get married, due to the ungrateful nature of so many modern women. And then we're gonna send it home. So once again, shout out to Tip Network. Hold tight.
For the prenuptial conversation.
That's a really tough one.
You're married,
I'm
so
married.
how did that conversation go with you guys?
I pulled the Band-Aid off and had it, and it was a fight.
You want to know what the offense is? Because it's almost like saying, well, what do you think I'm worth? That's essentially what a prenup is if our marriage ends and we go our separate ways, what do you think that I'm worth at that point? Is it just we cut our losses, split assets that we shared 50-50, what we came in with, we leave with separately? Or am I saying for every year of marriage that we were together, as the man, I'll pay you this, or whatever the case is, there's kids, child support. Essentially, that's what a prenuptial question is what am I worth to you when we're no longer together?
I'm here to tell you, man, you can't go off what nobody say, because in the end, to stop you from being happy and free, they will run to the system and give the system all of your information so that they can try to hang you. I'm talking to all of these guys that are in a relationship with a woman who be like, oh, I would never do you like that. No.
Yeah, the Let's Get Married was like, I was dealing with a relationship, and that's the girl told me, like, you ain't getting no younger.
And they wonder why men are saying, you know, I'm good, I don't want to be married. They wonder why. They wonder why.
Might as well do it. And I'm like,
that's one of the worst proposals ever, though.
And I just sat on it for a minute. I'm like, Brian, you know, girls really want to get married. Like, they really want to get married. Like, that's what they want to do.
If you don't mind, how many times have you been married?
Never.
No. Damn, living a good life.
Look at you.
So you said you'd never get married again, you think?
No, it's not for me.
Why not?
I've done it, had 3 kids with it. It's like a mission that's been complete. I've already done it.
But you would never want to be like, again, married happily ever after, like never?
No.
So would you recommend marriage? Would you tell me like, yo, don't get married?
Yeah, I'll tell you, don't get married.
Don't get married.
Unless you're cool with changing your life, entirely.
So I had rented like a 140-foot yacht, whatever. And I had girls on the boat. They was topless. The music was popping. He was the CEO of EMI Publishing, which became Sony Publishing now. And I'm signed to Sony Publishing. He pulled his boat right beside my boat.
And you know what's so problematic about marriage? A lot of women want men to take all the risk, but they want to take none of the accountability or the responsibility. He got to take all the risk, but she don't take none of the accountability. But on the flip side, women like Ebony K. Williams said that she's going to get a prenup. And that to me is problematic. Shout out to Bashur. She said that I honestly believe that Ayesha believes she has pretty privilege, but since she's getting older and with everything she's saying about her husband, it's not going to get her very far. No doubt. Shout out to Bashur. Thank you, dear, for that $10. She said, if you can't respect your man, keep it moving. No doubt. I agree 100% with Brother Sean. I agree 100%.
He saw us partying. He saw the girls. He did all this. He jumped off his boat and came to my boat and said, JD, don't ever be on that boat over there. And I was like, till afterwards, I'm like, I looked at his boat and it was big, but it was quiet. It wasn't nobody dancing. Wasn't no women on that boat. It was just him and his family, and he wanted to be on my boat.
I'd rather be a mom before I be a wife.
Really? That is very interesting.
I just rather cater to a child
Than my husband?
than a husband. And when you're a wife, you don't need to get married.
Did y'all hear that? I'd rather cater to my wife, a husband. I'd rather cater to my child than to my husband. But they get mad at me. They get mad at other rational thinking men that see, because one thing about the internet is more or less showed men how women really feel and think. And guys say, you know what? I'm glad that these women are saying what they're saying, because what these women are saying is really just a reflection of the broader world. And they're saying, you know what? I'm good. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to stay single and charge it to the game. And you can't blame them.
No, but when you just think when you're a wife, you're a mom, and you still have to find time to be yourself. And I'd rather just find time to be a mom and just be myself as of right now.
Okay.
And
well, I get it.
So I do believe that different relationships bring out different things in us. I was also an extreme alpha in my first engagement. I had 2 engagements, called off 2 weddings. My first relationship that I was engaged to, I was extreme alpha. So even if he tried to be alpha, I left no space. Like, I'm chasing my career. I know my value. I'm not fatherless. I got a daddy. He spoils me. Good day.
So even in that, do you feel like that he wasn't man enough for you?
I think that's a duality. I think he chose a woman who was alpha because it fed something in him that was beta.
Yeah.
I chose a man who was beta because my alpha needed to be inflamed. But my second engagement, he was alpha. That's why I say it's circumstantial. But not only was he alpha, I was ready. I had these submissive feels in me already. So by the time we got in a relationship, I was a hybrid by then. I was alpha submissive. So I was cooking, he was daddy, I was soft, I was in my feminine. And I learned that I fell more in love with myself in my softness than he probably did.
Yeah.
Like I was doing I'm like, ooh. Even in the bedroom, things that I was like, no, I'm not. When I was in my alpha, absolutely not. I was like, can we do that thing again?
Some of these women that you see and you are attracted to them, the baggage they come with is insurmountable.
Have a lot of baggage, have undiagnosed mental illness, have a lot of trauma. They want power. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Listen, guys, you only got one life to live. Your life should not be around trying to always please a woman's emotions. You should find a woman where, she take care of you, you take care of her, y'all take care of one another. In a healthy relationship, both parties benefit. That's called negative homeostasis. But many times in modern relationships, there's a lot of controlling mechanisms like happy wife, happy life, which is a form of control and also manipulation. I'm not living my life to make no woman happy. It's going to be a mutual benefit where we both are happy. She benefits and I benefit. Hold tight.
Sound too low? Here's how to fix it. Open Extra Sound. Instant volume boost up to 600%.
I've already done it.
But you would never want to be like, again, married happily ever after, like never? So would you reconcile your life?
Entirely.
So I have rented like 140 foot.
Than my husband?
Than a husband. And when you're a wife, you don't need to get married. No, but when you just think when you're a wife, you're a mom, and you still have to find time to be yourself. And I'd rather just find time to be a mom and just be myself as of right now.
Okay.
And
well, I get it.
So I do believe that different relationships bring out different things in us. I was also an extreme alpha in my first engagement. I had 2 engagements, called off 2 weddings. My first relationship that I was engaged to, I was extreme alpha. So even if he tried to be alpha, I left no space. Like, I'm chasing my career. I know my value. I'm not fatherless. I got a daddy. He spoils me. Good day.
So even in that, do you feel like that he wasn't man enough for you?
I think that's a duality. I think he chose a woman who was alpha because it fed something in him that was beta.
Yeah.
I chose a man who was beta because my alpha needed to be inflamed. But my second engagement, he was alpha. That's why I say it's circumstantial. But not only was he alpha, I was ready. I had these submissive feels in me already. So by the time we got in a relationship, I was a hybrid by then. I was alpha submissive. So I was cooking, he was daddy, I was soft, I was in my feminine. And I learned that I fell more in love with myself in my softness than he probably did.
Yeah.
Like I was doing I'm like, ooh. Even in the bedroom, things that I was like, no, I'm not.
When I was in my outfit, absolutely not. I was like, can we do that thing again?
Some of these women that you see and you are attracted to them, the baggage they come with is insurmountable. You're gonna lose. So what you do with that woman, you have the courage to sit down with her and talk and say, I'm willing to do this for your body. Because that's what I want. I want your body. Now, if the man starts catching feelings, that gives the woman bargaining chips to be like, well, you caught feelings, so I want more. That's how I think it should go. And if he catch feelings, he understand. Okay, I caught feelings. I don't want nobody else touching you, so I'm willing to do this to have exclusivity. All of the things should be negotiated. It shouldn't be, oh, you my girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend type stuff no more. Right. Those days are over. The women of society are luring you into a pit that falls victim to the system.
The divorce rate is high level. No, and I'm talking about somebody like in our field.
And I think those married and athletes are beginning to see that. I've been with my wife for 29 years, but if I was a single man again, I know I would not marry an American woman. Not at all. The typical American woman, unless she was properly vetted, I knew her family, and she grew up deep in the church, and she passed the test that I'm going to put her through. And she can give me tests too. I don't care. But in general, no, I'm good. I would never, because I got too much to lose. At 54, I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm trying to go forward. My last days on this planet needs to be in peace, not peril. And I would never compromise my masculinity trying to assuage the fickle emotions of the typical modern woman.
Marriages that work, I think that they come across the same exact threshold of reasons to divorce, but for reasons unknown only to them, they don't do it. I know for a fact that I wasn't ready for fatherhood or marriage in my 20s, 30s, or even 40s. I was not ready.
I feel like the commitment though should be there, and the marriage is just a legality. Like for me, it's a government paperwork, it's some contractual. But I think that for me, I feel like we should have the commitment and not search for marriage to create.
If marriage was as simple as jumping over a broom, I'd have had 15 marriages.
Right.
What do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is that they're getting...
Y'all didn't hear this from a man. You heard it from a woman. Let that sink in.
With the girlfriends, they're angry. They just get frustrated, and they have a lot of people in their ears. And I think they just want to. When they're done, they're done.
And what do you think makes it not simple? That's what I want.
The paperwork, the courts.
Yeah.
What it takes to end it. As opposed to ending a relationship.
In my 20 years of practicing divorce law, have I ever seen a woman turn down alimony? I have one client who receives $45 in alimony, and she wants that money every single month. And when he doesn't pay the alimony for 1 or 2 months, she wants a 10% legal interest on that money. I've never seen women turn down alimony.
Maybe there's a woman out there for some people that will be not even what you hoped it would be, just will be loyal and not deliver you to the system. Right. I wish that for everybody, but chances are you're not gonna find that. Chances are you're gonna find what you've been running into. What you've been running into, you're probably gonna run right back into it. Every once in a while you get blessed and you find an angel that really got your back. Not an angel.
Craig is something.
There are no female angels in the Bible.
Right.
That's true.
Huh? Cricket. There are no female angels.
Polite savages.
This country, you gotta make the money first. Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman. That's why you gotta make your own moves.
Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. The only thing we can do is guarantee to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. So there's nothing else left to do but get on into it. Are you ready? Let's go.
Polite savages, don't do it. Don't believe in the lies of these women as they try to disguise the fact that they want you to get in a marriage with them without a prenuptial agreement.
And listen, you know, I talk with men all the time in therapy. I've met great men in private. I've met great men in therapy that have had to give away copious amounts of money to women with narcissistic traits, women that are highly ungrateful, women that are very disrespectful. And many of these men have suffered from mental distress because of that. And so when men use pragmatism, when men use rational thought and say that I'm not going to get into a relationship unless I put the proper safeguards in place, many times they're often shamed back into silence. Marriage, once again, in itself is beautiful when the variables in place. But currently, now speaking, it doesn't benefit men to get married. It's no benefit at all, sadly. And if you get married without having a prenup and you got money, you are a fool.
They may go with the sweet little lies and say, how dare you? How dare you put a price on what they are worth? But the men have been put through the ringer a few times and been in these certain predicaments and situations and learn from the mistakes that men have when they don't have a prenuptial agreement with these women. These men that know better, knowing how much they would lose, do not want to get married. Just like the case with Jermaine Dupri, Offset, and Paul Pierce. They're not going to fall for the tricks of the emotionally manipulative woman. Where have they seen many cases before? Many entertainers having been destroyed in the courts. These women out here are overinflating their worth, coming with the masculine, uncooperative, defiant attitudes, like Cheyenne Bryant, labeling herself as an alpha submissive. You've heard it from Melissa Ford and even Azar Farida. They're all out here trying to be alpha submissives. A word that I find fascinatingly, apparently, rooted in BDSM, bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. Something to think about as these play on words is exactly what they would like to do to you for all that you've earned. Where they bring you to the courts, legally rape, pillage, and plunder, raid your bank accounts, businesses, and safe deposit boxes. With the power of the system behind them and using the hustle wallet box between their legs.
Are you married?
No.
Do you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
Do you want children?
Yes, I do.
Do you think your husband will be a musician, an actor, or an athlete?
Yes, I absolutely do. What? Yeah, I know for a fact. That's the men that I be with. So.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
No.
Yes. Those are the kind of men I attract, I be around. My resume kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do too. Like
yeah, your roster
yes.
of dead is nice, but you got no wedding rings.
No, but they got NBA rings. So.
As your side chick. Was this when you were in college, or was it?
No, it was well after college, sweetie. Last year. Kind of like last
year. Did he play professional sports or like Canadian basketball?
He was a drug dealer, but then he went to the NBA.
And okay.
On the
and
bench.
if you turned him down, why?
Now, let me tell you something, guys. If you took the makeup off this woman, took off the fake eyelashes, took off the wig, she would be a very average woman. Listen, the true measure of a woman is to see a woman in her natural beauty, not with cake up on, fake eyelashes, all this concealer and foundation. But it just baffles me the level of the lack of self-awareness and highly narcissistic traits a lot of these women have. And they wonder why men in general say, you know what, I'm good. I don't blame men for being single and protecting their peace. I've been with my wife for 29 years, but if I was single again, I'm good. I would never marry the typical American woman. Not at all.
Because he got 12 kids and 16 baby mamas, and I didn't want to marry that for real.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. So why in the hell would you deserve what you get? That's why we laugh at women like you.
I don't see
I
what's
ask
funny.
if you want to be married, do you want to have kids? And when I ask you is, do you think your husband's going to be in this group of men who tend to live this lifestyle? You say yes, and that's what you openly pick for.
Yeah.
Instead of going over and dating men over on the business side, because here's the problem. You can't handle a man over here because you got to be more than just cute.
Well, I bring way more to the table than that. So.
Well, then why are you putting yourself in a group of men who you say do these things?
Well, I mean, because in LA, that's just what it is. So.
Excuse me?
What?
The dating scene is only NFL, NBA, music, and actors. That's the entire dating scene.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it if you want somebody successful. Otherwise, you're going to get an actor or somebody who want to be a rapper. And I make money, so I can't play.
I swear to God, I didn't pay her. I swear to God, I didn't pay her.
These women are not alpha submissives. They're alpha widows, bona fide past their prime aged out hoes, being delusional and not willing to admit that they want to marry these men to maintain their status while they were in a relationship with these high value men. And when things don't go their way and as planned in their magical manifesting delusions of grandeur, they enact Plan B or Plan Beta orbit, or most nefariously, they target and go after an unsuspecting man, what she deems and perceives as a beta in her eyes, in comparison to the alpha stud she wanted and got pumped and dumped and kicked to the curb for. These are the same ladies that are not willing to settle down with the average guy or even an upper class guy that happens to be a doctor, a middle manager or high earner, a self-starter perhaps who may be a foreman, HVAC technician, or a plumber. But they set their sights high for high value.
And that's what the young lady, the doctor, the Chiaku lady, they'll say the men are not equally yoked because they have their doctorate, their masters and their bachelors, and they falsely equivocate social market value with sexual market value, and they don't understand that men don't care about your doctorate. We're not marrying your doctorate. We're marrying feminine virtues, and the biggest problem, guys. That I see so many times in therapy is that I was doing couples therapy last week, and the guy, more or less resonate my sentiment. We don't ask men what they want. I'm gonna do a book. I'm thinking about doing a book called Black Love Without Consent, and we don't ask men what they want in relationships, and because of that, it causes a lot of problems. And now men are beginning to say, "This is what I want. This is what I demand." Especially if they've done the work. If you don't meet the standards, then ma'am, you're free to leave.
Men, entertainers, rappers, drug dealers, athletes, and men with high positions of status, fast life, acclaim, and fame. They want the best of both worlds, the thrills of it all, because of what kind of status these men bring. And of course have the optionality to take these men to the courts and take them for everything they've earned over the years.
Another thing, use hood to elevate your lifestyle. They are not to be taken seriously. Industry men, hood dealers, scammers, they are not to be taken seriously, because even when you are their girlfriend, even when they treat you right, it's always the bare minimum, because most of the time they are the first ones in their family to ever have the amount of money that they have, and they are stingy as no one in their life has showed them to be a provider. No one in their life has showed them to want to be generous. These men are still broken. They're still broke as hell here, okay? Use them to get near the men who were raised correctly. Do not take that man serious. Do not take that man serious. Why are you taking a man that don't even have a legal job serious? And even if he's an industry man, why are you taking a man that is a first generation?
And they wonder why many of them are perpetually single. They wonder why the Black community is crumbling. Imagine if my mom saw my dad that way. My dad got to the 11th grade. He worked in the paper mill for years. My mom passed away back in May. Bless my mom. My dad is 82. But shout out to Dr. Dunn. I know Dr. Dunn got a young son, and I wonder what his son is going to get in the typical modern woman now. I'm raising my daughters to be virtuous. Hopefully, I can find some men that got good sons that I can link my last two daughters with. But it's so much trash out here now, man. You know, I would argue it's easier to find a man that's husband ready than it is to find a woman that's wife ready, and that's so unfortunate.
Generation rich in his family. First generation rich person in his family. Why are you taking him serious? He gotta pay his mama bills, his baby mama bills. He gotta do so much for everybody. Then he feel used. He resent taking care of you. It's too much. Black men already come too damn much. The last thing you need to do is be trying to date him. A man that came up in the hood and this his first time touching some money. This his mama's first time seeing six figures. They'll never spoil you how you want to be spoiled. They will never treat you how they gonna resent everything about having to take care of you, the kids, everything.
She's saying use these men to elevate yourself to get to the guy that actually is coming from money or doing stuff legally. But why are y'all advocating for women to talk to scammers and drug dealers and people of the industry when you know that that's a zero-sum game in the first place? Why are y'all even entertaining that?
So what I'm trying to say to you, America, is this. When you're dealing with someone who will smile, taught her sons to smile as a way to get what he wants. Hee hee, hee hee. When you're dealing with this type of entity, it's better to have a transactional situation.
Entertainment. Used to sit up here and lay up under some ball player. She was the third or fourth broad. Now she's bitter. Now she's bitter. Darlene Ortiz has been talking about Ice-T now for 3 damn decades without pause. And she's not the only one. Jada Pinkett, if she hadn't gotten with Will Smith, she would be running Tupac down today. She wouldn't be talking nice about Tupac. If she hadn't gotten with Will, she'd be talking about Tupac like a dog. What's happening here today is these chicks are using gutter hoe tactics. If it doesn't work out, then what they do is they go back to their mental and emotional Rolodex. They go try to if they can't get a high value man, they go see if they can go find the last high value man that they had any proximity to. And then they say, you know what? If you're not going to give me what I want, then I will legally you in the court system and take what I want. But I ain't gonna accept this low living I'm doing while you're sitting up here coasting.
And there you have it, the hard realization, where even some of these women, I gotta say, are just so blind to see that a new crop of women are coming.
And we call that, guys, it's a term I created called hoflation. You know, it's satire, but it's definitely hoflation. Because they do keep forgetting that men with money and status tend to go after younger women.
Coming every year, here and overseas. Not yet married, friendly, inspirational, cooperative, and submissive, catering to their man, and already expecting them themselves to fulfill gender roles, making all the right choices to be chose. So why would these men go low and pick the bottom of the gutter after they toiled, fought, and made hard decisions to achieve mastery in their chosen field and an increase in their living standards? These men have earned it, where they can have anything and any woman in the world that they so choose.
Right.
So why would they go and look back at these women that call them alpha submissives, the one with high standards, not willing to settle because they got money of their own? These wannabe alpha submissives, the one with high standards, is exactly as the same girl working in a retail store at Target, where the ladies with these high-end careers or past their prime IG influencer models and video vixens are on the same playing field with a beautiful, submissive, cooperative, and friendly woman. Whether you find it here domestically or you find it somewhere in some country, in some city or some town overseas.
We equate our value to how many men want to sleep with us, how many men are in our DMs, and how many proposals we got. Not marriages, proposals. If all these guys want us and we want none of those guys, then we have no options. And I think that's like a hard pill for us to swallow. Like, we don't want to admit that, but we know deep down inside, like, we go to our message requests or our DMs or our text messages, and it's just full of guys that want to sleep with us or, you know, talk about our bodies. We realize, like, damn, we ain't got no options. Because really, you only consider the guy's options that you actually want.
I mean, look at Halle Berry. I mean, we see it now. When she was much younger, she had a lot of greater opportunity. And as she got older, the men were less and less and less powerful and less and less prestigious. And she ended up with, I mean, whoever she's with now, Van Hunt. And no diss to him, but he's not David Justice. He's not on the same level as Bilal. I mean, I don't think so. So, you know, if you don't have that mentality that you need to offer somebody something that is valuable, you will just get overlooked.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe. Hit us up on all social media networks. We try.
Thank you to everyone that donated. Thank you, Bashir. Everyone that donated. Dr. Dunner said the analogy of a godly man is a virtuous woman, and the analog for a man's love is a woman's respect. And I agree with you 1,000,000%. You're 100% correct. Shout out to Bashir. And listen, guys are checking out. Men are saying, you know what, I'm gonna do what's best for me. The church won't talk about what I'm talking about. The church won't say that modern women need to be better products. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because men want quality women, and men are tired of the typical modern woman. Men want women like this, women from the past, as they were the greatest women ever.
Fall comes to us in its own time. I just keep losers
nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski.
Interesting to me that these are the same women shouting from the rooftops when they're our age that they feel invisible, that it's hard, that where are all the good men, that being single is so sad and depressing. So this is the wisdom, young ladies, if you're willing to listen. When you get older, you will be so grateful to not have to do the last third of life by yourself.
You know, Paco, winter is coming. I remember a time where most women had husbands, and Kevin Samuels talked about a time called winter. And you know, winter not only symbolizes the seasons that are about to come, but winter symbolizes a stage in life. When you look at some of your, yes ma'am, go ahead. Yes ma'am, go ahead.
I am in the storm. Okay? I got a part-time job. I'm a tax expert, so I only live during tax season. I'm 60 years old. I don't have retirement. My family is spread across the country. And I don't have a strong black man who I love black men in my life. I'm not mad. I know my time is past.
Wow.
But I am in the winter.
Wow.
I'm in the storm.
I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there was a time when you had a viable black man, but you forfeited that by sometime bad choices?
1,000% correct.
Oh my God.
I was married.
Right.
I was fine as hell. And I thought that I was black girl magic.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's why I know the death mentality. And I thought that I was.
Go ahead, keep talking. You said you thought you were black girl magic. Keep talking, Parker.
Oh, but life and reality woke me up.
So it sounds.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all this other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
Kosher clinician. All right, guys, we're going to end it. Thank you guys once again. Shout out to Quiet Faith. Quiet Faith was the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to everyone else that gave. I really appreciate you guys coming to big. This was an excellent stream. 3 hours in, it's a little too long. And 200 people have voted, and based on the 200 people that voted, 70% of the men say, or 70% of the respondents say that modern women are not fit for relationships. And so, guys, there you have it. Ayesha Curry exposed. She's never yours, just your turn, guys. The truth revealed. And we're going to end it here, guys. You have a good night, and I will see you guys at some point again this week. Be well. Take care.